Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Apex Legends Masters Circuit. This is today's third qualifier for NA. There's 4 qualifiers in total before the finals at the end of the month. My name is Girl, and I'm here with Matt, to join us today.
Hey, excited for today because you know the fact that we're going to be getting in some good action here. The fact that the lobby is in the process of filling up. And I cannot wait because we're going to be hanging out on Stormpoint and get to see how North American PlayStation players are going to tackle it.
Yeah, absolutely. We just finished up the EU broadcast earlier on today, and we've seen some amazing content and amazing plays earlier today. We've seen a mix-up of legends, a variety of legends, a lot of mix-ups as well. People were changing their legends from game to game as well and having a lot of fun with it, and I'm super excited to see how NA decide to play it out as well. We are going to be seeing some of our same teams from previous weeks here today, and we're going to be seeing some new squads, so definitely excited to see that as well. What are you excited for today?
Well, I heard the fact that we're going to be getting some cool vehicle stuff that happens in America, so I'm going to be hoping that North America can kind of bring that one together for me. You said the fact that that team might not be here, but I'm still going to have faith. Maybe somebody's going to steal the strategy, and it'll be all right. Honestly, I just like to see how teams in entirely different regions tackle new maps and their approach to it. So whenever we look at a variation between, like specifically EU and North America, how they're going to approach a map could be entirely different. And seeing those conflicts of meta and how people want to play, I think is extremely interesting to be looking at. So that's going to be what I have my eyes on at the very first round.
Yeah, absolutely. This map is a wonderful map. We are going to be continuing with Stormpoint today. And for the foreseeable future, I think until the end of the season. So we're going to be seeing that in championships as well, hopefully. And it is a wonderful map. It brings the long-range format to be played, and it kind of gives you that variety of gun skills. Now let's jump into format here. As you can see, this is today's format. It is going to be trios. It is going to be up to 20 teams, and I think we're almost there, eh? We're almost filling up the lobbies. Hopefully we can get that for the next time around, and we are going to be playing 6 games total. It does normally come down to the wire. That last game is so important to watch.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a nail-biter until the end in EU, all considered. It's all about getting to the points as you make your way through it, though. You can see the fact that each elimination is going to be 1 point apiece, and that is absolutely pivotal for these teams to be keeping an eye out and you guys to be watching at home. But up at the top of it, if you get first place, you're going to be walking away with 12 points. It descends all the way down to 15th place where you get 1 point. Below that, you're going to be getting nothing at all. But a big section of what we're going to be looking at is going to also be the prize pool. When we're going to be looking at everything that's going to be moving for today, I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be playing for Pride. They're going to be playing for other things along those lines. But $600 is enough to pick yourself up PlayStation 5. Nothing to be sneezed at. As well as second place is going to be $300. Third and fourth are $150 apiece. And then 5th through 10th all get a chance to go to the seasonal final.
In the seasonal finals, where you want to be, that's really when the best tournament is going to prevail. And these are our teams that qualified for today's games. We've got 3 Trees, Booyah, Titans, CPT are winners from last week. Fake Preds from our first qualifier, they were the winners then. Empira, WLB, G59, No Ties, Rats, Team Ram Rod, 10K Fist, Flaming Heroes, Team Chapo, Outsiders, I remember them, Impact Legends, Brute Esports, and Rollers MX.
Yeah, we've got a lobby, to say the least. I'm looking forward to this, especially as full out as it's going to be. But remember, she was talking about it a moment ago. Girl has it on point as we're going to be making our way through several weeks of competition. And if you guys are watching and you say, hey, I want to get involved in that, you can see that there are still slots available. Make sure you go over to compete.playstation.com where you have your chance to sign up for this, but tons of other stuff. They've got fighting games over there. They've got FPS games, pretty much whatever your heart could fancy. If you're wanting to compete at the high end, it's a good way to meet people that think the same way as you, as well as to build up your skills that can carry over to matchmaking, or you never know, build your own team and start climbing up the ladder in competitive as well.
Yeah, absolutely. PlayStation's done a great job of providing all these tournaments to their player base. You know, whatever type of game that is possible to find on PlayStation, you might see it in the website to compete at. So definitely stay tuned to watch for a tournament that you might end up winning yourself. So we've got a tournament coming along today. We're only going to be starting our first game, so you definitely caught us at a good time to see all of the action unfold as we go into our game number 1 shortly.
And make sure you guys stay tuned in, because we're going to be going through these rounds real fast. Like, sure, we're going to take a break between every other game, but that means the fact that we're going to be trying to jump back into lobby in just a few minutes. So make sure the fact that you are set and ready to go, because we've got 6 phenomenal matches that are going to be lined up. Now, I know I'm kind of the new guy over here for North America and dealing with what PlayStation's bringing out. We do have a pretty full lobby. You were talking about some of the teams moving into this. Are there specific teams that you're saying off the get-go we should keep an eye on, girl?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Fake Preds for sure, and CPT, as they've performed really well in our previous weeks. I'm not 100% sure if all of our previous week teams have signed up for today's tourneys, as they may have already got a spot in their final and kind of want to take this qualifier off to just work on themselves. Maybe they have to enjoy the summer a little bit, just because we had such a busy weekend of celebrations. So they're perhaps taking today off, chilling it down, and then we might see them in the next qualifiers. Yep, so Fake Preds 100% and CPT, love to see them back here today. And something about North America versus our EU region is North America actually kind of brought the Seer gameplay. In our previous weeks, they played a lot of Seer, whereas EU didn't even have any Seers. I think we've seen 1 or 2 Seers today, so we might see a lot more of like the wall hack legends in today's tournament.
Be very, very useful, specifically in playing newer maps, just to get a feel for the hidey holes and where people could be hanging out at. This is the day after the 4th of July, so we're not going to fault anybody that maybe doesn't play. You know, could be a little sleep from going out and watching fireworks, doing all the fun. I know I've got some bags under my eyes. Don't judge me. May have gone to catch some fireworks last night, and the traffic getting out was a little bit longer than I was expecting, but all tuned in, and I know the fact that there's going to be some fireworks going into the match today. You can say the fact that we've got tons of good teams to keep an eye on, specifically teams that have been, I guess, playing for several months now together and starting to get more and more confident in their playstyles as they move in. You mentioned the fact that there's a couple of champion selections that are going through. Is there a specific gun meta that we could be seeing developing in North America as well?
Well, for sure, you're definitely going to see those long-range weapons being played. The snipers are heavily played in this map, and I believe the R301 has been prevalent in the games today earlier on, so we'll definitely be seeing the R301 again. I actually picked up the Rampage in ranked the other day, and I really like it. I haven't played it last season because it was in the crafter, and I'm just like, no, I'm going to be judged if I pick that up. And it shoots a little bit slow, but it's still pretty good. It's not bad. And you might be able to catch people off guard if you have that thermite intact and shooting them through doors. Not a lot of people expect it anymore because no one has crafted a Rampage in a long time.
Well, I know off the first game over in EU, we did manage to get ourselves a cave game, which I was really, really excited about. We've kind of gone on a journey across all of the maps so far. We haven't hit all of the POIs, but we have kind of gotten a good section and a look at every section of the map. I am hoping the fact that we see another cave game, because I'll be honest, I really like cave, and I thought it was a really cool place, and we saw a lot of very interesting fights that were breaking out. I know earlier I asked you what sections of the map you wanted to look at. Have you had any change-ups since then?
No, honestly, I'm in favor of a lot of spots in particular. Maybe a Cascade Falls ending. I don't think we've seen that today. Anything else that I could think of? Oh, a Fish Farms. We did not see a Fish Farms. We saw a Gale Station, but we didn't see a Fish Farms. I really like Fish Farm endings because there's so many like little holes that you can play in as well there.
Let's see, we're doing the tour of the map, and so much verticality. I know that was a big talk. We've got the jumping pads. We've got the slow rise into the middle of the map, which is just incredibly high comparison to the coastlines that you get on the southern sections of it. And then just also very vertical sections. Like there's the one section of the map that I feel like you can slide down for what feels like almost a good solid minute. And it's by far one of my favorite parts and favorite things to do on this map. And I know that it's been seeing a lot of traversal, all considered.
Yeah, 100%. There are so many ways to traverse this map. You can use the gravity cannon, you can use the tridents, or you could just Valcult from north end to the south end. So definitely different ways to do it. And then, as we've seen earlier today, some legends were more defensive and some were more aggressive, and we didn't really see a balance in aggressiveness and defensiveness. It's kind of either or in today's match. It's like, okay, let's fully go in and kill a whole team, or let's fully play for placement and get that end zone. So we did see a few cryptos then. I don't know if we will see any cryptos here today either.
Well, we also saw a Mirage. You think that we're going to see another one?
No. I don't want to say no. I don't want to bite my tongue later, right? You know, they played Mirage as a little troll last game, and maybe they regretted it, but they still got the win, so I doubt they regret it. I think they had a great time.
You guys didn't see it. First place team over in EU used Watson to go ahead and set themselves up a little harder, and then were dancing around it while all of the chaos and cacophony of everything was going on down below them. Also running the Mirage, all kinds of just fun stuff. And there is something to be said whenever you're looking at this format and the way that Apex is played out. If you can secure those points early, it gives you breathing room to have just more fun, for lack of a better term. You don't have to double think every single thing that you're doing in comparison to where you're a team that's trying to catch up. You often see moments of hesitation like, ooh, do I do that? And in a game as fast as Apex Legends, that can spell your doom in and of itself.
Yeah, for sure. And earlier today, we saw people kind of be adamant of where they wanted to land. Like, some teams just really needed that 50-50 in antenna when there were some free POIs. So let's take a look and see what legends we have. We got a Revenant already, if you haven't caught it. We have a Revenant, we have an aggressive team with Pathfinder, Octane, Valkyrie. I don't know what they're pairing with Revenant. Are they going to do Octane? Are they just doing Revenant Lifeline? That's going to be scary.
That's a survivable comp, to say the least, but we'll have to see how it all plays together. But you said the fact that North America was about the aggression. I guess if you're going to bring out a Revenant, it's aggression off the get-go. See jumps now coming into play, and we're going to be following up with Big Predators, who you were talking about was one of the teams to watch, as it's a pretty open playing path, all considered.
And I just realized that Baguette ESL like to land here and Fake Prads like to land here. So two of our strongest teams in our PlayStation Master Circuit have chosen this POI, and I wonder why that is. It has good loot, first and foremost, and then it has great rotation capabilities. Because you're from the north going to the south, you can almost fly from any high position, which is really just a smart POI to take in general.
Yeah, I mean, a good section of this is going to be downhill from how you're going to want to be playing this. Even if you need to make your way all the way down to Cave, it's a fairly easy traversal, and specifically the fact that you've got a lot of walls in different areas that you can play without having to contend with too many of the other scary things. One of the things I like about this map is it feels like the POIs are spaced evenly enough. There's ways for you to kind of like sneak around and maneuver through this map, and the ways that some of the other ones might be a little bit more clustered.
Oh, and take a look at how this zone pulls.
Yeah.
So Fake Prads, they're getting gifted a zone. Now that may or may not be good for them because A, they won't be able to go around and get some kills because they're in end zone and they might not be able to just like take those rotational paths to get the kills. And then B, they normally do play safe, so they might be okay with it. Like, hey, scan beacon, play end zone building, and just get a good start to their day and get that momentum that they would want.
I mean, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. It's interesting whenever you see a very strong team have the circle drop specifically on them, because now that they've got ring control, they have to make certain modifications. You're going to see the areas of the map that they think are very, very strong and trying to get control over those earlier. You can see that Musical Poster as well as Simp is going to be coming in, and they're going to be trying to maybe encroach into this area, and Fake Preds is still in the looting phase, so they might be able to squeak by onto that, but I don't know if this is a territory you necessarily want to squeak into.
Yeah, it's really hard going uphill right there. It can be very dangerous going that way. This is CPT, our winners of last qualifiers. Logan actually ended up, if you missed last qualifiers, Logan ended up fighting off a squad kind of on his own while his teammates defended them and pushed another squad off in the top 3. So he killed one of the top 3 squads, and then his team held the other squad off, and then they killed them as well. So they got like all 6 kills, plus they won the last and final game. So it was just an incredible thing. And we also got a chance to interview Logan as well, and they're dropping in live video, and then that's also on Twitch as well on the VODs.
It's a pretty big build-up as we're starting to see all the teams, still 16, hanging out, vying for mostly information, and I would say a longer looting phase than I was expected. Do you think that this is kind of a system of the fact that we're seeing such a northeastern circle, so people are wanting to come in very prepared?
Yeah, I mean, technically there are a lot more teams in the game today than prior, so maybe nobody wants to fight knowing that, hey, there's actually teams around me and I will most definitely get third party. So people do definitely want to come in prepared. Diego has ultimate, can get that care package with maybe potentially a gold armor or something along the lines. Lifeline did end up getting buffed recently, and we've seen her today with the clutch revives during fights, so I'm really excited to see her again play out now. Diego getting scared, not actually even looting their ultimate here on the back end quite yet.
Starting to see some vision. Are we actually seeing some bow work come out? I was missing that from earlier today. It's like just trying to get some information. Imperia up on the high, and you can see this is, I guess if you're going to be playing Revenant, you're wanting to play it aggressive with the lifeline, this could be a pretty solid strategy.
Yeah, it's just a little bit rough because they're a duo, and B, they're on double white armor, so hopefully they can get like a headshot or a knock real quick. Take a look, we've got a blue armor, a battery, and an extended light mag. That's really good loot for early game loot, and Thornton's going to be happy about that. But did that squad stay nearby, or are they gone?
Psychic musical poster did get spotted out. We were talking about that a while ago, and the fact that that might not be the best of areas to encroach into. Imperia, I think they're kind of at the tail end of a lot of this rotation, so it wouldn't surprise me if people are just moving in faster than they are. So they might be catching information as they go, given the fact that they are a two-man. They're going to feed that information back over, and now they've got a problem because they've got somebody coming up back behind them, and they have got to figure out how they're going to regroup into this. It does look like Thornton should be able to regroup fairly quickly, but the longer he stays here, the longer his profile could reveal him.
Yeah, and I feel like Crimson doesn't want to shoot quite yet. They don't want to reveal their position because they are a duo, and maybe they just want to play on the low. But on the other side of the map, Team Ram ends up going down to TT, and it's Titans.
I mean, that was a fast fight, all considered, and a very clean one. They're going to be making their way in from pretty far to the south, but we've been seeing that the teams that are having to do the longer rotations get the better chance of picking up those elimination points. So if you're a strong team and you're walking into these very long circles, you're going to be able to pick up some pretty decent points, all considered. Now, that said, we might be seeing a scrappier group altogether over here in NA, so have to see how that develops out, as I think we're getting to a point where Crimson is going to have to take a shot sooner or later, and maybe he can just hope that they'll bypass him, but it's 2v3 off the get-go.
Yeah, this is rough, and take a look at his armor. He's on the white armor, and they have double blue and a purple. He actually ends up spotting one, and they are going to go for it. The silence is going to come out, but silence a little bit too late. The ash portal's right back into the building, and they will be safe for now. Can we get some shots off? Oh, no, we've lost Thornton already. Are we going to go for the save? Maybe an ultimate for the save? Let's take a look.
Jumping back down, seeing if they can get something out of this. He's doing a good job on picking up the damage, but that was real fast. Already sent back into it. See, trying to find angled bows, just not putting in the work that he was hoping for. He did get some opening damage into it, but now he has his position definitely revealed and has to figure out how he wants to handle what's going to be coming. The zone is coming in back behind him, which could provide some type of support, depending on how we see the opposite team opting into moving around this. Looks like they might be retreating. They don't know that this is a two-man. They don't know the advantage that could be lying here, so instead, it looks like they just don't want to risk too much of what's going on.
Yeah, and maybe they're just not comfortable fighting in that zone. I know it's hard to see for some people with the the orange zones covering up your screen, and like you said, they don't know what to do, so they actually end up losing that kill that they originally had. But hey, the long game is the most important. They're focusing on what they can achieve rather than what they've lost.
Seeing more bow use come into play, not hitting too much. Finally picking up one there. Titans, though, we saw them do a very quick fight, so we know that these guys know how to scrap and know how to get in the thick of it. Ring, though, is causing some problems for a lot of these teams. Given the fact that we still have 14 up and active, it feels like it's kind of causing stalls in different sections. It is an early ring, so it's not going to hurt too much. But every little bit of damage that you have to try to regen later is just less utility that you have for those late-game fights. But so many teams along the edge right now.
Surely more teams are in end zone than this. One team in Thunderwatch, one team above on the beacon, and it is going to pull to the compound right under Lightning Rod. This is a nice end zone. I do like this one. I like playing this one out. Getting one of those buildings early on can significantly improve your chances of winning. It could also end out in the open, which doesn't have too much space, too much cover to play around. Got
Crazy Cucumbers got some goals.
Yeah.
Look at that. Just I hold at the moment that circle appeared.
Yeah. And they are my team that I'm betting on for this game. I like early rotators.
Always feels like the safer bet, specifically if you're playing for points, all considered. Here we go. We've got Crazy Cucumber, and this is how they got here so fast. So they're going to be in the northeastern section of this next zone, so also should be in the circle to follow it up. Getting that information out. I like this. Play this slower, come in. They've got themselves a very formidable tank squadron, all considered. So leaning into the crypto, getting that information, figuring out how they're going to navigate everything through is going to give them some advantages to realize the fact that they know exactly where they can move safely.
Roller SMX, another one of our duos on double purple, but aren't afraid to getting into that end zone before anyone else. I like that from them. Very confident, and they've looted up quite well. In the kill feed, though, Crimson Regen ended up going down, unfortunately. But Thornton ended up going down as well, getting the revive off. Crimson on the way back up with the blue armor. 1v3 potential, gets a knock, but ends up going down in the process. It was a nice fight and a good effort by the two of them.
Well, the duo is facing some trouble now. Mercenary, I believe the last one up. Yep, Adrian's already down, just trying to get away from this. That cliff should provide some level of safety for right now, but you can see it's very, very minimal. Still standing out in the open, hoping that nobody chases after him. Looks like he could be able to get away from this one, but not a lot of options on where you're going to get away to.
Oh, it's unfortunate. Both of our duos are struggling in their first game, but that doesn't mean they can't come back in their future games. Maybe they just have to play a little bit more passively. Don't get involved in the action. So something I like to teach people is, hey, if you're on the down end, why not just go for third parties instead of going for a 2v3? It would be a lot simpler. You can look at the kill feed, see if they get the trades, and then go on in. That's potentially the strategy that they're going to need going in forward, because there will be teams fighting. Or you can get into an end zone really fast and play two defensive characters. If that works, then why not? People might not end up pushing you.
This is a very interesting comp, all considered, coming out from Fake Preds. They got themselves the circle early on. You can see that they're kind of checking out all around buildings in the area and they know where some of the teams have rotated to, but I like the fact that they're not playing their hand just yet. They've got themselves good vision point to play from, just making sure that nobody's going to encroach on it, but also you can see the fact that they're doing a good job on just information collection. Making sure to keep an eye on what's going on back behind them. Are going to let loose a couple of bullets to let somebody know, hey, there is somebody here. We do have control over this. You guys just stay in your house and be fine.
And that's something Fake Preds does well, and is they know how to play their lives. I would say out of all the teams that I've witnessed in both regions, this team really knows how to put like ego aside, go back, reposition, go for extra loot, and then come back and sweep up the lobby. So they do a real good job of that. Daniel Spam's one of our main Seer mains, has been playing Seer throughout this whole entire thing. And I just feel like it provides so much beneficial information in something like this, because there's a lot of people ratting in this map. Zone's about to close, 10 seconds left, and we're about to see the zone closing a little bit smaller.
So you could say the fact that Daniel might be one of the people to see the potential in Seer. Oh, I know it's terrible. I had to do it anyway. CPT coming in, got themselves Logan, Magic, and Curiosity caught up inside the fight. Going to take a couple of shots, and there's going to be a lot of high ground back and forth between them. With the way that the circle has managed to line up, the ring's going to be into the left of the firefight as we see it, and that's going to be one of the reasons why this team is lined up. CPT wanting to make their way into the zone. Frosty and the rest of the crew is already lined up ahead of them, but these firefights on the edge could be a big deal. All these guys, I would say, that are down in the south, the southeast, over into the west, they've been playing edge and were hoping for a circle to pop in their favor, going to find themselves sorely in trouble as now they have to cross the entirety of the circle to go over there. That means that they're going to have to fight as they go.
Yeah, and there are some fights on the edge of the zone. This one included CPT doing some good pressures, good damage, but none of those nades really connecting for a high amount of entry, so they can't really push off of what they've done. Curiosity is actually taking some angles, and this is something you can do as Ash because you can portal right back into safety instead of using portal right now. Though we're not going to waste that. We're going to opt for a shield battery as our team covers us from the enemy.
CPT is wanting to move forward, but if anything, they'll be fine with a retreat. It looks like Titans is stepping away from that, and it's going to get some assistance from the side of it. I think that we can see it's going to be Black Wolf and crew now maybe doing a pincer move of their own, and that's going to put Titans in kind of a rough spot. They've got their back up against this wall, and two different teams that are going to be looking at them. LWB trying their hardest right now to navigate what's going to be going on, but they stepped right up into this, and this could be a very quick third party, but they're doing a good job of putting in the work, not overstepping. They've got good covering fire at range, and again, crossbow meta, North American, far, far more than what we saw in EU.
Oh my goodness, Penguin Lawyer just playing that height kind of cover firing for their team. Oh no, we've lost Frosty, but 83 damage. We're going to be able to finish this off. I believe in Black Wolf, and here we go. We've had a squad wipe, but in the meantime, another team came back in behind us and have eliminated us from our flank. So was that long fight entirely worth it?
I think it was CPT that was the beneficiaries of that. Yep, they're running over there, and they're going to pick up 2 squads worth of loot. And they already spotted out a couple of teams that were moving behind them, going to throw out the defensive smoke so that way they get the time to do so. Now the question comes to play, what territory are they wanting to claim as, hey, look, that was so nice that the other team could provide them a way to get back to this.
This is definitely one of the best buildings to hold that I've seen from other teams' scan. They don't know it, but it is pulling a little bit more towards them. Don't know for the final ring, but for now that it would be the safest building besides the one that's already taken in as someone's residential home. 3 trees did come up as well, making an easy way into the zone because of those teams ended up killing each other off.
I do like the fact that we see people leaning into the weapons and the choices that on how they want to play. Some people running bow, other people running LMGs. Just whatever you feel you have the strength in is what people are leaning into. And that's the way you want to play. There's tons of things that could be meta and could be better, but you can see the fact that playing into what your strengths are going to lead for your highest successes. Sometimes just chasing the meta might show up and backfire in your face.
I know I'm seeing a lot of Spitfire, so this is my wish for today. I'm wishing for one team to end up winning with Spitfires and under 10% accuracy, because that's what Spitfires are for.
One of my friends often says the fact that it's accuracy through volume. You just put out enough bullets, and sooner or later, you're going to hit what you need to go for.
Oh, no.
President in some trouble. I think he overpeaked that one, but looks like he's doing a good job. Juking Wade at least manages to drop back down behind that wall and should be able to be safe. Question comes, anything going to chase after it? I don't think that those explosions are going to allow anybody to get close fast enough. At least those arrows might stop in their tracks too.
Ooh, those were nice shots with the bow and arrow though. Hitting for about 50-70 damage. I don't see why we're running away from a spot that is safe. Are they really pushing that hard where they have to leave their area? They don't have to leave too far. I don't think CPT is going to chase them. Okay.
Oh,
spoke
CPT
too soon.
They got some goals, man, and that's going to be another one going down. CPT is like a shark that smells blood in the water, and they see some potential points. G59 also around this general position, seeing what's going on. I don't think that they want to be involved in the way that you can see CPT chasing this. I would just kind of get out of there. You don't want to have anything to do with the way these guys are playing right now.
Oh, they might actually be able to get a small building for themselves, or they found a rock that they will find to be their safe space. They could take that small little building, the little rectangular one. Oh,
no, they're just going to jump right onto Magic and use that reposition from Logan and Curiosity. The problem is, they regrouped so fast.
Oh, wow. So we've got a trio on top of each other. It's going to be good for 3 trees, but they have to be careful as a climb up is definitely possible and scary.
Especially with this third team that's now trying to come in. This has become the hot real estate that everybody is going to be after, trying to fend up, and every single peak you can see is going to be a third and fourth partied from very, very far away, but also having an enemy right underneath you is going to create a whole new set of problems. You were talking about the potentials of Seer, and right now you're just got to keep an eye on everything that's going to be moving around you. WLB now just trying to run and gun their way across this. Shields are going to come out and now just going to opt in to make the push into it. Got to be careful, but it's going to be jumps around. So much damage now coming out after Ghost and Toxic does manage to get the kills, but man, he is taking a lot of damage.
There's no way we got a Valkyrie off right in front of our opponents, but okay, WLB, they lost one. The Rose is still alive. They're okay. They're as a duo, top 6 remaining. Not too many full squads, and not that many squads left in a zone this big, but the zone will close in favor of the Northern Buildings team.
You can see the fact that this is where the house party is at, and this house is kind of in the next ring, so that's going to make it, I guess, cumbersome for everybody that is trying to hold out around this right now. 3 trees do have themselves more of a defensive styled squad. Some ways, having themselves with the Watson there, but also Pathfinder can provide some opportunities a second ago. I think that 3 trees, just a second ago, didn't they use the Pathfinder ult? So I don't know if it'd be up and available just yet. But Curiosity says, hey, if you're just going to hang back there, then we'll get a touch more aggressive onto these angles, and they're trying to, but not really taking too many shots yet. I think that they're waiting for the third party, and now going to start opening up.
Logan with a massive, taking Steel down first. Oh, it looks like a clean wipe from them. Logan and Magic doing all the work, taking them down. That's 3 kill points in a tough situation. They didn't get third party though, so they should be okay.
Big Preds still holding a very strong spot. High ground vision, still inside the zone. Have a good idea on where everybody's moving around with the 5 squads left. You can see that they're going to be looking through most of the other squads opposite side of the zone from them, and going to be having to make a closer move into their position. You can see Curiosity, Logan, and Magic did themselves a good job in getting control over this area, but we might see Ghosted and crew eyeing this direction as well.
Yeah, it's going to be tough as a duo in a zone like this, but anything can happen and duos can win. Ghost Toxic taking in a lot of damage, already cracked. Now CPT is going to take advantage of it, going for the first knock. Smokes gonna block the vision of Logan and Magic there. They're trying and doing whatever that they can. They did steal a few kills there in the back, but they're getting shot on the side, and they got to be careful because they do have to make quite a bit of a rotation.
I would say this is starting to be a big problem for everybody, as Fake Pred's still very strong, and CPT on the opposite side of this also picking up a lot of strength, all considered. With this final spot, you can see it is going to finally be Fake Pred's having to make a move. 3 squads left. While they have the high ground, they have got to be very careful in how they traverse it, because they have their backs against the ring and could be one of the first teams to have to move.
Unlike earlier today, our first place team in this region isn't as aggressive. They like to play more methodically, and you can see it here. They're running out of ammo though. Take a look at the ammo count on each player. Less than 100 usually. And this one's 74. They're running out of ammo, but what matters is what they do with their last and final clips.
Slow rolling it right now, trying to play for information and angles, aware of how close the threat is to them. Not wanting to take the shot yet. Feed that information over to the teammates so that way they know how to handle it. It means the fact that they know that it's going to be CPT at range. It's going to be causing them some problems. and so they're going to have to deal with a team that's going to be down below them while doing so. Instead, they're just going to jump up, reposition to a new high ground, and this is going to be closer and provide a good firing line right down on top of them. Lots of control, just going to start throwing out everything that they can, and this could provide the opportunity to move through. Smoke's now coming out on one side of it. Fake Pred's taking near on no damage. It's just Route right now that's lost about 2/3 of his shield, but still plenty to work around right now, and it looks like they're going to flank right back behind Logan, and I don't think that they're expecting this. This is just a push right into the smokes. The shots do reveal their position, but Predators are already in a beautiful point, now sandwiching the other team.
Wow, take a look at that ammo count. Only 4 shots on the R31, but we still have our car with some shots remaining. Are we going to be able to use a shield battery or a shield cell, or have we run out? Crazy Cucumber taking down Magic. That's 1 down from our CPT squad. Route going down to 20 HP, escaping through with that dome. 3 squads still remaining. Daniel Spams has got to make a clutch for his team.
This is a big problem. We're starting to see everybody drop out. Route's got near on no life. Going for the peak round, seeing if maybe he can get enough damage, but has to be careful. Near on none goes down, and it's going to be Outsiders who are playing the slow and steady game that pick up our first game.
I can't believe it. That was a really good attempt trying to take the Outsiders down, but that armor swap was quick by the Outsiders. Packers making that quick one. Crazy Cucumber. Oh, I love that. I love the little punching with animation in between Caustic and Gibby. I've never seen that before.
Oh, yeah. That was a slow and steady wins the race squad, no matter how you look at the way that comp was configured. I do like the strategies that we saw come out. You've been talking a lot about Fake Predators, and that back flank that they managed to try to pull off there, I think was a work of genius. Didn't necessarily work for them, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. There's a lot of fast movement that can be happening inside of Apex, and that was key component in what we saw there, as a lot of people were just bouncing all over that in circle.
I wonder if they really needed to go around, or if they had a good spot on their own. But they kind of wanted to play like the toast, the sandwich game, where they wanted to push the other team in to each other and play that back end. It almost worked out. It didn't quite really, but they were also running out on ammo, and I think meds too. I don't believe that they had batteries there at the end. So it was a rough game to play, but they managed to make top 3 regardless.
Yeah, and that's... a lot of that had to deal with just trying to handle all of the edge fighting that was happening right on the ring. It was just a continual firefight for so many of these squads. So early rotators, very, very rewarded this time.
Yeah, for sure. And we got our first champ squad, right? Here, we're going to go through the replays. This is Team Ramrod in the very beginning. Wasn't quite hitting with the Havoc. They were one of the first teams to get eliminated. LWB did a great job here, but the fight was just too long, and then they ended up getting flanked there. Logan coming in with that massive. Nothing you really could do about it. Black Wolf ended up getting pinched. She's highlighted by the ultimate there. 3 Trees tried running, and I believe they escaped, but I don't know how they made it back into the zone.
So let's get you a do-over, huh?
I mean, it was just a full-on trying to get away. See, this is just continual harassment coming out. And this is what we were talking about, all of the edge fighting. You can see it was just massacre for these different teams trying to creep their way in. Once they managed to make it finally to this stage, it was still a lot of back-and-forth battles, but I love the way that CPT realized exactly how the stack was going up. They had 3 members of a team stacked up in one small quarter and pounced at just the right moment to pick that one up clean.
Yeah, CPT did a great job of picking up those kills early on. Fake Preds, they like to play that late game. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. Take a look, like 19 ammo left in the car, and I believe I saw 4 bullets left in the R31. It was just a little bit too hard to pull off. And look at that armor swap by Packers on the Gibraltar. If that armor swap wasn't like in that moment or later, Packers would have went down, and then it would have been a 1v1. So that was crucial.
I mean, you can see the fact that good pickups coming out there. Late game Caustic can pump out some damage. You said the fact that you wanted to see LMGs coming out with like below 10% accuracy. Well, how about seeing a Crypto with 71% accuracy?
Oh my goodness, and a kill. So 71% accuracy, a kill, and 882 damage. Now, the question is, did Dinosaur Venom just ult the whole game, or is that really 71% accuracy? I think Dino was hitting shots.
it seemed that way, the way that they were approaching it, especially whenever you've got the meat squad in front of you. Now you're going to be providing some cover. That means the fact that you're going to be slower in your aim and not have to be quite so panicked. I mean, having Gibraltar running up there with the caustic, I mean, that tends to buy you some time to make sure that you're hitting your shots, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's take a look at our winners of today. This was our first game, so we've only got one team that has won out of our 6 games, and that's the Outsiders, Dinosaur, Crazy Cucumber, and Packers. Well done. Great start to today's games.
I gotta say, every single time I see Dinosaur Venom, the thing that pops in my head is that one like dinosaur in Jurassic Park, you know, that has like the like, I guess, things that pop up on the side of its head and then like spit out the venom. I don't know if that's what he's named after, but that's what it always pops with. Oh wait,
I'm gonna disappoint you because I haven't seen the movie.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll let it slide. Oh, and hey, yeah, I heard one of the people in production feed me over. What was it again? What type of saurus? The Lophosaurus. There we go. See, look, you guys are learning things if you haven't watched Jurassic Park. Dinosaurs that spit things.
Okay, dinosaurs that spit Lophosauruses out. Okay, let's take a look at our standings because I am so clueless to anything about dinosaurs. And then we've got 10K. These are squads that didn't quite get the best start to the day, but it's okay because we've got 5 games left to go, left to watch, a lot of fun and a lot of action to unfold for our game number 2.
You can see that maybe July the 4th took the toll on a couple of these teams coming in with several of these teams only having 2 members, but still a lot of heart from these guys, making sure that they're coming in, getting more experience. Playing under pressure at this stage is already difficult with a full squad, but still coming in and saying, okay, look, if we can only bring 2, we're going to bring the 2 and see what we can bring out of this one. And, I mean, you never know. You said it yourself just a little while ago. A duo can win these in-game fights. Got to hit your shots, but doesn't mean it's impossible.
It's definitely easier to coordinate as 2 because you have less comms, you have less people to kind of coordinate with. So it's easier in that sense, but then it also is harder to fight off full squads of 3, especially if you're going for a Volgult. People can see your trails through the air and be like, okay, this is a duo, let's go kill them. This is free KP, free points, free elimination points. So some people might do that. So might be better to play it like a little bit quieter on edge. We've seen a team get into our top 5, top 10 by being a duo and playing it cool on the edge, and then we've seen some of our duos going to play it aggressively and end up getting killed along the process.
Hey, I mean, to each their own. You can always practice your aim. It's a good way to also practice firefighting under pressure because you're not always going to have the numbers advantage, right? See, there's some mindset and something you can learn from it. That's the way I'm going to take it.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, maybe your team's already made it into our championships by obtaining that top 10 earlier on. So you're here. Or you've only got a few squads to be in, and you're trying to go for that 9th, 10th place as a duo today. And if you can't, well, there's still one more qualifier to ensue later on this month. So no big deal. We've still got 5 more games to unfold, and anything can happen. So brush it aside if you had a bad game, and if you've had a great game, then good job and keep it going, eh?
The key part of playing Apex Legends is going, okay, bad game, shake it off, mental reset, jump back into it. Also, make sure you guys are giving some love if you're in chat and watching this to the people that are playing with only 2 members in their squads, or anybody that is playing in this. Every little bit of support that you can give to the scene as it's trying to grow, and as we develop more and more teams that are coming into play on this and play in these PlayStation competitions, that is only going to give more and more chance for finding success. So if somebody is here impressing you, if you've got somebody that you're cheering on, make sure you go follow them on Twitter, follow them on social media, follow them Twitch, YouTube, wherever they are. Every follow can be so influential for these teams as they're just starting their path.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just takes a few people. Like if you're, for example, doing a Twitch stream, it just takes maybe 10, 15 people to bring that visibility up, because it's so hard to go from, hey, 0 viewers to 3 to 10 to 20. It takes a lot of time for me. Actually, I lost all my viewers switching games as a new streamer. If you go from like a game like Deceit to Dota 2 to Apex, once I started Apex, I had like 3 viewers maybe.
That is a
And
gambit. Wait, you went from Deceit
yeah,
to Dota.
yeah,
So pretty much you went with a, I guess, what is it, psychological detective game into a isometric MOBA and then into an FPS. All right, respect.
and that's how you lose not followers, but viewers, right? Because they're like, oh, this is completely different. But I actually grew up on PlayStation and playing Call of Duty a lot. So when Apex Legends came out, it was a big vibe for me. It was fast-paced, just like Call of Duty was on PlayStation, and the movement, like how smooth it was just so fun. And I had someone tell me, like, hey, you probably shouldn't stream Apex Legends because you're never going to get found through the thousands of viewers. But I'm like, hey, I don't really care. I like this game, and I'm going to play it. You got to do what you love, and then the rest will follow through.
Yeah, I'm just excited to be over here casting some PlayStation games, because you're talking about being involved in PlayStation for quite a while. Here's my nerd thing that I was very, very about, like, RPGs back in the day, and my daughter is actually named Kyrie, and yes, because the fact that me and my wife were playing Kingdom Hearts at the time, we thought the name was cool. So,
oh,
yeah.
That's cute. And congratulations. That's awesome. I haven't played Kingdom Hearts myself, but I can definitely get the feel like, hey, you love something, you both love something, and you decide that's such a cute name too, so congratulations.
It's a little different, and I'm down in Texas, so you can guarantee you that nobody says it right. Most of our teachers are like, Carrie? 50% of the time. But hey, it'll get there one day. That said, you can see loading up, we've got most of our legends selected, and now taking off to figure out how our drop paths are going to be coming into play. Looks like we're going to be coming up over the north, I believe, to start this one off. And yep, you can see already making jumps out. Fake Preds know exactly where they want to go.
Yep, as always, landing Lightning Rod. I remember in a previous tournament, they actually got 50-50 and they gave it up. That's how safe they like to play. They don't mind, but if they can get the position, they're in a great spot. Now, take a look at this zone. It's pulling the complete opposite direction. It's pulling south towards Shipfall, Antenna, Gale Station side, maybe even Barometer. Could pull anywhere. We'll have to wait and see where that ends up going off. We do see 2 teams at the wall. Could be a potential fight there. Anywhere else you see a fight? Maybe Cenote Cave.
Oh, I will take a cave fight. Sure, we're not getting it in the circle, but you know what? I'll settle. If I can't get cave, maybe I'll just be content with Shipfall. Shipfall could be kind of fun, all considered. We also do have that little smidgen of fish farms in. You're saying that you wanted to see something going off over there. We have several teams that are landing very close to each other, and while we saw a careful, slow, and steady game 1, it looks like this one might be a lot more loose, all considered, as several of these teams are quite stacked.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is our normal Barometer 50-50. It's so hard for the low ground team to push the high ground team, but they try to anyways. And they're gonna, retreat back, get a little bit more loot as they're all in triple white. Oh, take a look at that. Perfect. Double blue armor in the middle. That's what you love to see from Barometer loot.
Picking up the RE45 and the Mozambique. I feel you. I've had that life before. Other side of it, teammates could be running in 2020. This is loot's not being favorable right now, to say the least. So hoping the fact that they're not being chased, you can see just trying to keep a track on what's all happening around them. But that being said, opposite side probably not getting too much of a chance to loot either. But hey, looks like they've got a smidgen more range, so gonna have to step away from it.
Ramrod really want to push this fight, even with the loot that they've gotten. I just can't believe it. Oh, and we do not pick up the R99. Maybe we're saving it for a teammate. Gotta heal soon, or we're gonna end up going down on the rotation. Slenderman on the 1 HP. We're gonna stop? Yeah, we decide to stop so we can heal up.
The way Slenderman is playing is panicking me right now. It's like, you can see the fact that he was going for the gun, had to step away from it, now moving in. 2 team members now very low, already on just health for Team Ramrod, and they have got to be very careful. Chase is still continuing, but it looks like it's just going to be range. Control coming out from the opposite side of this one, but Sloth, you're one of the few that actually has shields. You better be careful with these peaks right now. Rollers, though, also finding themselves in a spot, but hey, double up on double up, that's perfectly fine. That's an easy way to pick it up, all considered. If there's just 2 of you, find another 2-man squad.
Oh, that's such an interesting way to see it, right? I wonder if that was planned out. Like, hey, there's more duos in here. Let's go 50-50 one. We could do that. That's a great way to pick up some points to start off. There's so many squads left, so getting into that top 10 on the leaderboards is going to be tough.
10K Fist holding down the area right now. Got themselves still on white, but they should be able to pick up some more armor relatively soon, or not in the worst situation all considered. Now, looking through, this is the kind of calmer area of what we've been seeing so far, and yeah, pick up that repeater. Like it. Sorry, I got distracted. Just had that loot moment for me.
I was actually thinking about video game names and kids for a moment. Like, I was just getting a little sidetracked myself, and I'm like, would you name your son Gibby? I feel like Gibby's such a cute name.
Well, let's see. We went a different route for our son, Logan, after Wolverine.
Oh, okay, nice.
We've got a dog named Tyrion after Game of Thrones, and then we have a cat named Azula after after our last Airbender. So, needless to say, me and my wife are nerds. Who would have thought?
Well, now we know, eh? We've got a whole list of family members with video game characters / TV show names.
Could you imagine if my kids hated video games? Man, that would be the worst.
Do they?
No. They're gamers. They're in there right now playing Switch.
It runs in the blood. They're gamers. Same with my family. My sisters and my brother actually play video games, and I grew up playing video games with my dad and my brother, so that's how I got into gaming as well.
Actually, no, I'm looking back over there. They are playing PlayStation right now. Looks like, I think, Tales of Arise. Quick glance over there. So, 10K Fist with the high ground. Enough about families and what they're playing. It looks like we're going to see how these teams from high ground are playing with their food around them, because they have vision for so far up here.
Yeah, it is such a great spot to hold and potentially catch some teams on rotation. I know if you had a charge rifle here, you would be smiling the entire game, because I've died to rotating into barometer by charge rifles from up here. Glad they don't have them, because we don't want to see teams die for free on the rotation, do we?
Maybe. Depends on how good the shots are, right? I like it. If we see good aim, I'll be okay with it. But rotations right now, I would say it's actually kind of hard for 10K Fist. There's so many targets, and the targets that they do see aren't very looted, so they don't want to contest. So it's just a lot more like rats scuttling around below them, just taking whatever scraps that they can get while they're just trying to avoid the shots coming out from 10K Fist.
I saw Diego, like, look at Diego standing still right on this ledge. As soon as FDG turned around and I was looked up, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's like a horror movie. Just Diego's just standing there, standing still, a little bit scary, but it's okay. Oh, the Outsiders, our winners from our last game. What are they up to? Okay, so they're in the end zone position. I don't know if you guys got to see the map, but it does look like it's ending up here near the gravity cannon.
Ooh, this is kind of interesting, specifically with how much water is inside this ring. It's gonna be a lot more open than it feels like. So one half of this ring is going to be rocks and buildings, which is going to be where Titan's playing from. The other half is going to be just playing out in the water, getting your suntan going right now. And I think that these vehicles could be very important, provided you can try to keep them alive, because you're gonna have to be scooting around a lot.
Oh my goodness, it's going to be so hard to find an actual safe spot around here. And you might have to play low key for the time being, just because so many people are trying to get a spot as well, so they're surrounding you. Oh, this is a really smart play. They're using the trident to create that kind of fake cover for them. Mm-hmm. Oh no, they're not. They're not using it they're using it to rotate?
I think that they keep having different plans, but it is some type of cover as they're trying to bounce it out. I think that what they were trying to do beforehand was trying to use that bridge to deny sightline, so that way they could try to protect whatever they could off of it. Then just decided to move it into cover, but again, it's just so much range coming down around this area, as it's Crazy Cucumber is making his move around, but it's all about the barometer and just the high ground. Look at, they can still see from over here. Whoa, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Just coming to pick up, right? Just quality Uber coming over there, requesting their 5 stars, going to be navigating this, and it looks like they get over there safe enough. Yeah, I think it's worth 5 stars.
So, are we going to the building? It seems like they've undecided. Like, No, I don't want to play here. I do want to play here. I want to go back to where we were. I'm going into barometer now. I'm so confused as to what the comms are. It's like, oh, we're just going to play wherever we want. Oh, do they feel like it's going to pull back here? Yeah, I honestly think that the communication's like, where's this ending? Where do we want to play? Do we want to play in the open and get killed in the open? Do we want to play this building in the back of barometer? There's no one around, so we don't have a tell on where this is ending because we don't see anyone, really.
Well, after their massive rotation to get into this point, congratulations, Outsiders. You're living up to your name and outside the new safe zone. So you're going to have to hop back in your vehicle and make a round. Probably, what, I don't know, about 50 meters away from where you started because you went north instead of east. And Apex Legends do be like that sometimes.
Oh, it definitely does. And it's crazy because there is still 15 squads remaining. And most of them are actually on the edge of the zone, far away from the end zone, because they were just driving around the end zone for free. They weren't getting shot at that much. I mean, they were by one or two teams, but the other 12 teams, they're chilling on the edge.
I mean, even with those 3 teams, that was a fairly effortless rotation after they got away from where they were trying to figure out if they were going to rotate or not. It was much more violent being around one team than it was 3, and I think that just kind of says about what's going on with Barometer and really what the loot situation is for those other teams. Looks like Titans do find themselves an approach that they're wanting to deal with, and they've got some sneaky angles that they're peeking through to get some information, maybe a couple shots. Going to go for the peek around off of it, and there you go. Should start to have an idea, and that's going to be a quick pull in with the shield, getting the spray in, and this is completely unawares. That is just Titans mopping this one up quick, getting their spray in, and that's going to be a quick finish to go ahead and put themselves up as the kill leader.
Hey, well played by Titans. A nice flank by Farches there in the bubble dome perfectly. And none of them went down, which is really important in something like that where they're in a great spot to play. It's going to be okay. Outsiders, though, they're taking a look at Barometer. There might be another fight ensuing. That's actually D. Thornton going down, but also taking one down with them. So it is a 50-50 trade if the Outsiders do want to carry on with that third party.
There's potential for kills to be had here, like you're talking about, and sitting, being a smidgen more patient, not the worst all considered, as Packers they've got a lot of control over this area, all considered. It's a complex area to play, so it's hard to really just have an idea on everything that's going through, but you can see they're looking around, seeing if there's any KP to find, because given the fact that not too many people are wanting to tangle with them, I think that that's giving Outsiders a lot more of a confidence boost to play more aggressive.
Yeah, it really is, but they don't seem like they want to do so. They seem to be in that building, holding down their guns. Their guns are fully kitted. They even have a Mastiff, and they're feeling content just doing them. I think because of the fact that they had that original lead, they don't want to risk anything right now, maybe. They don't want to play as aggressive and kind of lose what they've kind of earned over the first game, but there are still 5 games, so they have to continue to play well.
It's one of the big problems that you can see it happens in Apex Legends sometimes is you get that early lead and you think, okay, we just got to play safe to hold on to it. But then you play safe, and everybody else is just fragging out, and next thing you know, your safe play isn't enough points to hold off that position, even if you are making it in the late game. So can be a double-edged sword, but I think that Outsiders has got some goals that they're willing to play around with, is at least trying to hunt for some more kills in that location. LWB making the approach in from the north, as it's far more quiet over here than what we were seeing going on around Barometer.
Yeah, it is quiet, and there's a talk about, like, hey, we're playing safe because we did well the first game. The opposite happened in our last qualifiers for PlayStation. It was actually a team by the name of FCS. They ended up getting a lot of kills, big point games, and they never stopped. And because of the fact that they never stopped or never gave up or never took a moment to take a breather, they ended up getting 4th place instead of, you know, 1st or 2nd, where they were for the longest period of that tournament. And we're kind of seeing the opposite happen here, and maybe it's something that they've learned from watching previous tournaments. Is like, hey, don't be too cocky. You don't have to do or eat more than you can chew type of deal.
This is an interesting circle, as multiple teams already starting to try to vie for their foothold and where we're going to be following up. Crazy Cucumber looks like they've hopped inside their vehicle and they're just racking up those freaking driver miles, and they're going to make a stop on the other side of this. And Fake Pred's already finding some new targets as they were one of the first teams to stretch out and realize where this circle is going to be moving to.
Oh my goodness, don't hurt me please, and don't big body please go down in the kill feed. Oh, nice shot.
Just rolls through full on pedal to the metal, no fear, just like, okay, well, we'll see what's going on over there. And now that they've gotten to a defendable position, shoot back at Fake Preds, it's still just a roaming vehicle.
Yeah, they're pretty confident. And I mean, they kind of needed to pump that gas pedal because they could have gotten one clipped or two clipped by this team, right? So noticing that there's a team nearby, great job of them getting into ship file, but it is actually pulling back towards Fake Bread. I think I seen on the map scan. So we'll have to wait for it to ensue. Black Wolf went down to Adrian. I think Adrian was on the duo from earlier, not 100% sure. CPT also in a bit of a scuffle.
They're actually moving out to the north. There is a team that's in this position. I don't know if they're moving to third party or if they had somebody that was trying to keep them out. But it looks like they're wanting to go ahead and third party. Going to toss something right into the thick of that smoke. And now should have a pretty good idea on where the target is lined up. It's going to be Adrian and Mercenary still just trying to get away. And I think just got barely enough of that to see maybe a rotation.
Adrian did end up getting beamed by Curiosity or Magic from the top there, 150 damage from that distance. But it looks like they're gonna be okay on that building. I don't. Oh, they're taking a look at Logan looting. Gotta do that quick armor swap. 9 squads remaining, 8 seconds till the zone closes. This zone is gonna hurt. So if they don't have a Valkyrie on that duo, they will end up pushing CPT and potentially getting both teams killed.
Yeah, mutually assured destruction is a potential of what's happening right here, and CPT realizes it. Instead, now it's time to move, and they're making their way back into this high ground, but CPT needs to be aware that that team is potentially going to be coming up back behind them. That said, they could opt into continuing their eastern push and just rotate all the way around this to the south, while CPT could have some vision on that. We can see a couple of flyers now coming into the zone as well. And I think that CPT has a new target that they're looking to harass, as it's going to be that capsule building down below them.
And they are not in that capsule building, just double checking on the map there, so they do have to move. Fake Preds found themselves another team to annihilate, potentially. Let's take a look and see how that one goes down. President Bot goes down, Daniel spams with a good angle. Routes taking aggression off of that, and Steely going down as well. And that is another team that they've now eliminated. They're feeling so good.
Preds just got an easy lineup into that one. Should be able to pick it up pretty quick. And now it's just more roaming. This is a fortress that everybody else is going to potentially have to assault as these circles continue to make their way to the south. CPT still moving around the outside of this. They've got their threats, but they have to figure out, are they going to play along this wall and move to the south, or are they going to play opposite side of the wall? There is some safety to be had by playing around this and roaming to the north, but there's potential for more KP just moving their way to the south.
I saw in the kill feeder that the outsiders are still alive as well. CPT, nice arc stars. This is going to be really good for them. They can get that kill. There's 2 kills. They have a heat shield inside. The arc star stick not going to hit, but the creeping barrage does the work, and Kariari going down.
This CPT finding more and more kills already. Feel like maybe they learned their lesson. Going to go ahead and throw the smokes down whenever they go after a touch more looting, because last time they got harassed when they did so. Titans, though, here's what's going to be happening with Dinosaur, Venom, Cucumber, and Packers looking at. They are going to have to make a move of their own, but they have some time to work with. The issue is Dinosaur, Venom, and the crew are not wanting to make a move just yet, are going to walk out in the open, and that's going to be fed over very quickly. This assault over these fences as they're going to start leaving cover is going to be the moment that we're going to see the strike come in. And nope, looks like they're just going to go ahead and take the shots, reveal position, and that could be a problem.
EMP does miss or doesn't go off. These are going to be good shots if you can hit them. Oh no, we weren't able to do that. What about Packers? Are we going to be able to kill Packers? No, the sliding down this hill has been working well for every one of them except Cucumber. Poor Cucumber left behind.
I mean, all considered, just losing that one into this push could have been way worse. They handled that very, very well. Titans, though, not too pleased about letting that one slip through. They're going to go ahead and take a couple of pot shots in retaliation, loot up, and then now have to be pretty careful about how they're going to continue their way in. As they're going to be crossing into where we saw Fake Preds have their fortress lined up and going to be moving into a potentially open sight line very soon.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how scary this is going to be playing on the top of Shipfall right here. Do they have any cover at the bottom?
Oh, there's a fight that's happening over there, though. Fake Preds, I think, is distracted.
Yeah.
So that means the fact the Titans do get this pass for free. CPT is the one that looks like they decided to make the approach into this, and now down to just Logan, and there is so many shots coming out. It's going to be Titans that are hitting these last couple of shots into Logan. Logan's just trying to go away, and yes, he's going to go down. And now the rest of the crew got to defend back. Looks like they're trying to reset, and Titans making the push into this. There's just 3 squads left. Packers is the lone player out, just kind of watching all of this.
Oh, I think that was a duo right there, if I'm not mistaken. So they might be able to win if they get a nice third party. Yeah, there's Packers and Dinosaur Venom as the duo. Taking a look. Oh, did one team ended up taking the height? All right, Titans going on for it. Luvitz with the flat line with the 3X. My bad. Not able to hit shots. It's so hard to point with the 3X at this close range. Personally, I would just throw it off.
He's keeping the commitment into it right now. Going to be able to feed the information on the rotation. Keep in mind, Packers and crew still over there. Dinosaur Venom could have vision on these rotations as they're coming out. But Titans are kind of slow rolling this. There was a good job on jumping in and exploiting a third-person opportunity. But now it's led to a smidgen of a calm down. I wouldn't say it's too terribly bad, but Titans want to make this push and want to continue in. They realize the fact that they might have the opportunity to work with. Instead, it's just a full-on defended line, and how are Titans going to play around this?
Gotta play it slow here, just because one small mistake or 1 second of going down could cost you the whole game. Daniel Spams realizes that Titans is playing this door. If Mac can get an arc stick, oh no, Mac isn't even gonna try to go for that arc stick. Nice dome, even though maybe it wasn't needed because they were out of range. You're gonna pop it anyways.
They've got some time before the next circle does mob, so they can maybe get a regen on it before they have to take next fight. But Titans, though, finding themselves in a quick drop down, trying to exploit this, making the switch over, trying to get the Mozambique to work. Daniel spamming out as much as he can right now. Titans trying to make the push in, down to just 1 member. This has gone entirely wrong for them. They have got to be careful trying to step away from it, and here comes the push on the opposite side. It's going to be Dinosaur Venom and Packers coming up back behind this. Fake Predators did a great job on trying to survive through this. They have one of their members down, and that means that this could be an evened up fight. They have got to get this back up, they've got to get this res, and they've got to get the meds off fast.
No, they cannot let Daniel go for the revive, but Daniel does get it off. Route doing a great job defending, and Daniel taking down Packers. This is a 3v1 situation. They aren't going to be able to do this unless they clutch it up big time. Fake Preds going for the win, and Dinosaur Venom ends up going down, so Fake Preds ends up taking our game number 2 in our qualifiers, number 3 at the PlayStation Tournament Masters Circuit.
Imagine being Wako, having like, I don't know, 10 life, and just being like, that's okay, I'm just going to run through the fire and the bullets, and I want to be involved too. Just realizing the fact that it's a 1v3, maybe a 1v2 style situation, or a 2v3 style situation, and saying, hey, my extra bit of moving around could be the distraction that my team needs, and still committing into it. I mean, that was a skin of their teeth moment, but that just second to get that res off is all they needed.
We've seen that happen twice today, where the duo just barely makes it in just in time while that trio is going for the revive, and the trio ended up winning both of those times today. We've seen that happen in EU once, and we've seen that happen in NA just now, so give it up to Fake Preds for winning a game today.
Okay, you told me that I was going to get some vehicle movement coming around in there. I think I got my fill. I could handle getting some more of it. There's just something about watching somebody try to spray down a vehicle that's just hauling right by them and be like, well, got some damage out of it. Feed the meters a little bit more to feel good. But that was I guess a harsh circle to deal with. From that high ground from barometer, open area around the waters and the bays that are in that position. That was an interesting fight that I would say brewed in ways that I wasn't expecting it to play out.
I'm surprised they lasted that long in the Trident, going in like that open area for so long, but it ended up working out in their favor, and it was such a great game to watch. And that was only our game number 2 out of our 6 games, so let's take a look at the highlight of our game number 2.
Getting it started off with Titans, who were involved in everything from the get-go to the very end. And so much action was going on in these earlier stages. Specifically, we saw the hunts coming out for 2v2 fights. You can see, I think that this is the brew of what's going on with one of those right there. Vehicle, there you go. Trident just hauling through, seeing what they can get. But fake Preds, I mean, they moved down quite far, all the way to the north to get into this position, and they were just picking up elimination points the entire way.
Yeah, they've done a great job staying alive and getting those clean team wipes, because if they didn't make them as clean as they did, hey, the game could have just turned around the other way completely. Flaming, unfortunately, died to the creeping barrage there. CPT did a great job fighting up here. Massive damage.
So much was hinged around this building for so long. Be it going for cover or whatnot, but this is just a push coming out from Route. Just chasing down out in the open, not even afraid of the third party, and now you can see it's going to be Titans and how they made their approach. So much good counter movement that's going on, specifically trying to use the walls, trying to use sightline breaks so that way they can continue the firefight and deal with the fact that they've got minimal armor and health.
And this right here was the epitome of teamwork, because they were able to get that revive, and he goes up with just 50 HP to finish it off, and that was insane. So well done by Fake Preds. And we're going to have our stats for how well that they've aimed, their accuracy come up soon with their damage and the amount of kills that they've got. I'm really interested in seeing, because I feel like they've at least got 3 squad wipes.
I feel like they picked up several kills inside of that one. Their total kills, I wouldn't be surprised, between the last 2 games are probably going to put them in a very, very comfortable position. I wouldn't be surprised if the kills are probably going to surmount a ton of teams' total points just in and of themselves, and this is a very good start coming out from them. I feel like this could be their chance to influence and make everybody else's day pretty bad.
Yeah, they might have even surpassed the Outsiders, depending on how many kills that they've had that game. So that's something definitely to keep a lookout for. And if they have, maybe we'll see them continue that rise, and maybe they get a little bit too confident and end up falling through in our last 4 games. So definitely something to look forward to. Daniel did a great job, I feel like, of just defending that door with the Volt. Like, it was like a 1v2 there. Incredible accuracy. The Volt is just extremely strong, so having a care package weapon definitely helps. And it's really hard to get those care package weapons when you're already in end zone. So congrats to them for fighting off other teams and like picking up that extra loot from them.
I gotta say, all considered, Starpoint's been delivering some very phenomenal end games. The pathing options, it does have some open areas, but it feels like there are options to traverse around it. We're seeing just the slight defilades and hills that come into play, and the way that the walls and rocks are set are allowing teams to get closer than I think that in some other maps they would be able to, and allowing for a lot more different rotations, and I would say a lot closer range third parties that are just coming out of the blue for a lot of these teams. I'm very intrigued to see all of the different POIs of this slowly get more developed as we see teams starting to figure out where they're comfortable and where they think the strongest places to play are.
Yeah, I mean, Lightning Rod has been a strong place throughout our series, for sure. Fish Farms as well. I feel like people really are enjoying pulling the outer edge of the map. Maybe the inner edge of the map has less loot, or maybe fights ensue a lot more. I don't know why, like, the inner circle of the map, we don't see the results that we see with the teams landing kind of like Fish Farms or Lightning Rod or anywhere on the edge. Maybe it's because those edge teams do have to fight their way through into the zone. They pick up so many kills, and then they're feeling confident. I feel like the loot in particular helps these teams ally in leaderboards, because the fact that they're coming in with red armors and then they're only fighting teams that have been camping for a while and that only have blue. So they definitely have the armor advantage in that.
What? 1815 and 1950 on the same squad, girl.
Yeah, wow, like they nearly have 4,500, 5,000 damage there. We got the shot accuracy. Like I was saying earlier, Daniel spams with a 38% shot accuracy. That was because Daniel was frying anyone coming in that back door. Its route was also having some good accuracy with 16%, and then Wako doing his job. You know, it's not as easy to hit every single shot when you're consistently in the horizon queue going in the air, but hey, you're doing your job by staying alive. That's really important. It's not easy to do as a horizon to not overextend in the air and get shot out. So very well done by this squad overall.
Don't take damage number as an end result of who's good and who's bad. Comms, information, shot calling, a ton of other things can be factors inside of this, specifically also play styles, goals. You don't know what each team member is supposed to do. It's impressive whenever we see massive numbers come out like that, but for those two members to have massive numbers also means that Wako had to be putting in work in different areas to allow that to happen.
Yeah, for sure. And we are going to go into our leaderboard to see how these previous games affected the Outsiders or Fake Preds. So yep, we surpassed the Outsiders. Fake Preds leading with 39 points total. The Outsiders at 30 points, still in second place. CPT quickly catching up with that 28 points. They're doing a great job with 16 eliminations. They only have 2 less than Fake Preds, so they're a very aggressive team, whereas the Outsiders, they're mostly getting their points from placement points, tied with Fake Preds for placement points.
I mean, we saw the fact that they know how to navigate this map, be it vehicles or on foot for quite a while, even in a disadvantaged position. After Outsiders lost Cucumber, Dinosaur and Venom and Packers did a great job on surviving for so long. Opposite end of this, you can see it's a lot of our duos are playing with heart and trying to make sure that they can see if they can pick up some more points or just pick up more experience as you make your way through. But that said, there's still, again, a lot of opportunity for these teams to find opportunities to climb, learn more, and specifically work on team dynamics and communication, as well as also just seeing new sections of the map. I will say, though, if you're looking at this and you do notice that, hey, some of our teams only have 2 people in it, and you're like, how I could want to play in this, remember that you can play in it. You can jump in and make your way over to compete.playstation.com and get involved not just in Apex Legends, but tons of other PlayStation competitive games, be it fighting games, be it whatever your heart fancies, it is going to be there. That said, feel free to come over in Apex. If you're watching this now, we would love to see you in the next qualifier.
Yeah, absolutely. You have some time to check out the website right now because we are going to throw to a short break and we're going to be back with our game number 3.
They put him down! Silence him!
Welcome to the home of PlayStation Tournament's Apex Legends Esports. Get ready for all the Apex content you need to improve your game and win prizes in fast-paced, easy-to-join competitions. Look forward to exciting content to get you competition ready, including a monthly live show hosted by me, Rainday, where we'll discuss the latest in Apex, chat with some huge guests, recap the PlayStation tournaments, and much, much more.
So far, so good.
Videos that feature breakdowns, tips, and exciting interviews. And in-depth articles featuring news, ways to improve your game, and conversations with competition winners and esports insiders. So, like, follow, and subscribe for Apex Legends content. And visit the PlayStation Tournament's website, compete.playstation.com, to sign up for competitions.
PlayStation.
Calling all fighters. The PlayStation Tournament's FGC Arcade is back with the Summer Community Series starting this June.
Let battle commence.
Get ready for 6 weeks of scorching competition and awesome prizes across your favorite fighting games. Sign up in-game, on your PS4 console, or on the competition center at compete.playstation.com for your chance to win cash prizes and a round-trip ticket and competitor pass to EVO 2022. Think you're up for the challenge?
Welcome back, everyone, to the Apex Legends Master Circuit. This is our third qualifier, and we're already 2 games in today. A lot of action has unfolded, and a lot of potential to reign for the first place today.
Yeah, it's been a predominant 2-horse race, but you gotta love the fact that we're on the 3rd week, about to enter our 3rd round. There's some poetic beauty to be had there, as we just got finished off with our break, and we're going to be going into the action as fast as possible, moving into the next one, all considered. So, as we're getting ready to jump in, just as a quick reminder, this is our previous winners, as Outsiders and Fake Predators have put up a hell of a show so far today.
Yeah, absolutely. The Outsiders did manage to place in that top 3 area in our last game as well, but Fake Preds ended up taking the win home for themselves, making them into the lead with the 39 9-point lead ahead of the Outsiders in total.
That said, CPT just 2 points behind. That just means that you gotta find one of these duos that are out there in the world of trios, and now you can be potentially tied up with Outsiders. That said, diminishment down, and do notice the fact that LWB Rollers, WLB, by the way, thank you for that as a dyslexic person. That's totally cruel and unusual, but all only 2 points apart. Separated down, I think it was 12, 10, 10, 10.
Oh, it's nice to see everyone invite their friends over into these PlayStation tournaments so everyone can enjoy the fun. And this is our 11 to 18 squads from 3 trees all the way down to no ties, no limits. It's okay, you've had a couple rough games, but there's plenty of time to pull that back around as we get into our game number 3.
No ties, no limits. Only going up from here. Look, that's the way to look at it, right? From here on out, sky is the limit coming up for you, but we're getting everything ready to make our way over to Storm Point, who has been providing some phenomenal games. I know I keep talking about it, but I'm really, the more and more we're seeing this map, I love it. I know we just talked about it a second ago, but it's just, I love the diversity in terrain stylings that we're starting to see. We just saw a slight variation away from Cave, I would say, a little while over, just moving to the east, and it's almost like an entirely different map over there.
Yeah, at first, I personally didn't like Storm Point, so I actually played in Pro League before Down Beast even arrived and before the Armory was put into place. So I ended up having to drop in pretty bad loot spots for a POI unless I wanted to 50-50 contest some signed pros, which personally I was very scared of, but looking back now, I'm just like, I should have just done it. We should have just learned how to 50-50 so that we could end up growing as a team. Instead, we ended up losing in some pretty bad positions, and that didn't really that reflected, I guess, in the leaderboards and didn't work out well for us.
For as much as we like to say 50-50, whenever you make these type of contested drops, it's not always really a 50-50. Some people definitely have an idea on how to play, instantly loot, and get back into that fight that makes it often feel like it's about, I don't know, an 80-20 in my case, and I'm often in that 20%.
I feel like every time I take a 50-50, I never get good guns. I feel like every time I pick up a P20 or a Mozambique, and I mean the Mozambique is decent, but against a flatline or against someone just shooting me with a bow across the map, it's just hard.
I get the Mozambique and suddenly somebody's coming after me with an R99 and 301, and I'm just like, throw the gun at them. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll bounce and get the 3 shots to hit him. Get some range back in, but you can see now taking off into the air, we're getting everything set and moving into game number 3 for the day as we again are starting over the high section of the map.
We've got a Fuse, everybody. Ramrod playing the Fuse. I don't believe they played Fuse last game, but I could be wrong. It's nice to see Fuse being played now, though. I remember them wanting to be really aggressive in Barometer. Now let's take a look and see if they actually end up landing there again. Take a look at the circle. It's landing towards Antenna, Shipfall, Gale Station. Could pull up Launchpad, but I'm really gonna doubt Barometer. Look at Lightning Rod, though. Look, there's a 50-50 contest there on maybe one of our top teams. Take a look. Fake Preds actually taking down one already.
Again, not always a 50-50. Fake Preds finds the tools, puts in the work real fast, and they're now like, okay, where are the rest of your team? Who wants to compete up against this? Looks like they're just going to go ahead and keep an eye on this. See if anybody comes back, and we're going to spot out more of that information is going to get fed over. Almost at this stage, you could risk sending in just 2 and letting another one just get the loot up. Nice angle to try to go for a play on this one, but in the end is going to go down. And that's already some KP moving into the direction of the team at the top of the leaderboard in Fake Preds.
I feel like you were foreshadowing what was to come. You're like, yeah, no, it's more like an 80-20 for my team. And that's kind of like what Fake Preds is like, yeah, we're the 80 and they're the 20. We're going to get a few. No.
No for you. This is our home. You don't get to come here. And seeing another follow-up comment, as it's going to be Mercenary. Does manage to pick up 2 members of the Don't Please gang, as it's going to be Guard Up and Big Body. So finding ways to get kills even in a desperate situation.
Yeah. And it's hard to do something like that. Team Chapo. Crispy Plays. Chapo Cardenas. Like the names. Why are we not picking up a flatline, though? One of my favorite guns, and I think it's better than the RE45, but hey, suit yourself. Each their own, right?
I guess maybe it's a loot
we got
exchange
it.
right now? Well, that looks like what's going on. Alternator flatline. That's I've got goals going on right now. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a modification switch up coming out for Team Chapo regarding loot at any given stage. But that said, this is a kind of a smart place to go if you are just a duo in a world of trios, because with the way that these tunnels kind of line up, as long as you stay close to each other, you can kind of defend each other up and make it to where if you have to retreat, you can still make use of it. It's almost like that whole 300 style mindset where you just back up into a choke point and hope that your 2 can hold back the solos as they're coming in.
Yeah, and sometimes it ends up working out. It just depends on how the other team decides to execute it. Are they playing it super safe, or are they going in one at a time, allowing you to, chop one at a time? And we're taking a look at Team Chapo. They're actually looking at a team south of them. And I don't think they're going to try and ensue a fight there because nothing really is happening. It's better to go for that third party.
I enjoy the theme that TurboBot is sticking to. I mean, if you name yourself TurboBot 3000, can you play anybody except for Pathfinder? I feel like that's just a requirement from that point forward, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I agree. TurboBot 3000 playing Pathfinder, that's pretty awesome. I never thought of making such a creative name like that. I want to be TurboBot 3001 tomorrow.
Oh, just going to go in and take some of the clout. Well, TurboBot's going to go ahead and take some armor and try to take some lives, as well as it's going to be an opposing team fleeing for the hills, as Ramrod looks like they're starting to find some good ways to handle these firefights, specifically in the early game. Already aware of where the next target is, and this could be a pretty easy collapse. They've got the Mozambique in 301, rocking the loadout that we were talking about beforehand, but hey, at close range, that Mozambique can put in some work.
Oh my goodness, TurboBot 3000 with some bot aim, killing 2 out of the 3 members on that squad, and not missing a single Mozambique shot. I'm going to need a tutorial on that one because I normally miss about half of my clip.
We're not going to talk about I understand how shotguns work in this game, but my brain doesn't always understand how shotguns work in this game, and the shotgun that I'm holding in my hand doesn't always seem to understand how shotguns work in this game. But Chapo continuing their loop around. It looks like they're continuing to stalk prey around them, and it's a slow and steady movement. I like this. Leaning into throwables to see if maybe they can open up and get some weaknesses to follow up is a very solid strategy if you're outnumbered. But, whenever you're looking in and you see a caustic trap, maybe going in as 2 might not be the play.
But oh my goodness, I was going to say, but they're looking for an opening. They've got an arc star in hand, but take a look at this as Sheila decides it's not your day to 1v2 anybody. And that is our best Rampart play of the day, folks.
Okay, I think that's our only big Rampart play of the day, but we like it. We like to see it. This is a very, I guess, different comp than what we've seen. Specifically, we're seeing a touch of Caustic Love come into play, but Rampart coming in with Caustic has the potential to make some very interesting plays.
That's the ultra defense combo, if you ask me, because Caustic doesn't really pair well with Watson, as Watson's gen sucks Caustic's ult up, or the Watson fences can't be on the same doors as the Caustic fences. That's why Rampart works really well with Caustic, just because they don't negate each other's abilities. So I feel like that, yeah, that's the ultimate defense combo for sure.
Just throw in a Gibby, and all of a sudden you got Team Stand and Deliver. Looking at, let's see, Titans. Look like they've got the opportunity to work around as Turbobot finding himself another set of planes that he's going to continue to work with. Titans still going to continue this pressure up. No Smoke's going to be able to dissuade them, as it looks like they're going to continue to get more and more information on how to navigate this. Rollers up at the top of this is going to find themselves with Dinosaur Venom right down below them, and now have to be pretty careful, as this is... I think that they managed to get the opening shots into this, given the fact that Dinosaur Venom doesn't have any shields. But that being said, high ground isn't always necessarily the best ground, especially when you're trapped up here.
And the thing about them is they're on top of the roof, so the team underneath doesn't know that they're a duo. Maybe they're going to be able to beam them as they come up or catch them off guard and force them into making mistakes, because once you're inside, sometimes people panic. Like we seen earlier, you go a little bit too early, you might hit the roof and just end up falling down. That would be a free KP, and that's something that they're probably hoping for.
Shots out. Titans now finding the targets that they were looking for before. Coming in. Kicks. That's all they need to pick up the rest of it. And Titans continuing the rampage that they're putting into this mid-game. Rollers, though, finding themselves in the thick of a massive explosions. Adrian taking a lot of damage. Mercenary also in some trouble. But it looks like they managed to find a sneaky spot to hide at. Packers and Crazy Cucumber on the run. So that might have been all they needed to do, was just survive.
I feel like the Outsiders could have mopped these two, though, because of the amount of damage they've done with the bombardment. Just go up and kill the duo. Maybe they didn't know it was a duo like we were talking about earlier, which is unfortunate, because that was over 300 damage just with that ult.
I feel like that's the bait in this lobby right now, is you want to assume so many of these squads are duos, but then you're going to end up walking into, say, a team like Fake Credit, who's got themselves very low on life and still no fear. The way that these guys play around each other and just have confidence in their teammates to provide the cover, not needing the armor, realizing the fact that it's their job to open opportunities for each other, is absolutely crazy to watch. It is a near on no fear style of gameplay that is rewarding time and time again.
Yeah, Fearless could be their middle names. They're just doing whatever is needed to kill anyone around them. But they didn't decide to full-on commit just yet. The zone is a bit of a distance away. Maybe we're going to do a Valk ult from high ground. Looks to seem so, because 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Hey, let's just rotate, get a good position. We weren't able to clean that up. 3 cells. We might be lacking on meds as well, because we fought for so long. So we got to figure out a game plan instead of wasting our time in this one building.
Seeing that we're getting the death funnel start to build up in that northwestern area, as you're just about to start having to fight your way through to make it into the next ring, and it's going to be a long run for everybody that is going to be in the northwest. You're just going to have to fight every single step of the way. That being said, being one of the teams at the tail end and forcing those teams ahead of you into potentially other teams might deny you the kill points, but it might give you the safety and the potential meat shield that you need to continue on your path.
And we're almost picking up a second knock here as Black the Ripper down to 20 health. Yep, ends up going down. So Rally Hippie, Black the Ripper, both out of the game. 10 squads remaining, 27 left. So we've got 3 people out of play. We might have 1 solo, 1 duo potentially, or just 3 duos.
Yeah, this is... you can see that it's pretty brazen. Step up and just be like, okay, we know that we have enough control over here to just start going ahead and just taking loot boxes out in the open. That said, ring is going to be approaching soon. They still have some time to get ahead of it, but this is a trek. 10K Fist is going to need to walk themselves about 10K meters to make it in the next zone, and that is got a lot of teams in front of them. I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to be taking this pathing.
Maybe walking a little bit further in and then going for a Valk ult. They could do the southern route if they wanted to. Oh my goodness, take a look at this. No ties, no limits. We were talking about them earlier in their last place, but this Bangalore here has no respect for them, coming up and 1v2ing. That's Curiosity with the Wingman card. That's the craft and loadout.
I gotta say, this catwalk has spelled the doom for whoever has been on it so far today. It feels like it's such a strong defendable point, but I don't think that we've seen the defending team manage to hold it just quite yet. 3 trees, though. Looks like they're found themselves the opportunity and how they're wanting to move in, or at least get some more information. And there are a lot of teams dancing around this area, so you have got to be careful. Explosions going off everywhere. In range, you can see it's going to be, I believe, Outriders are going to be over there. And pretty close, we even have CPT that's going to be off to their left, as well as Titan having a member in here as well. So 3 trees going to have themselves 3 teams that they're going to have to be careful of as they're looking around in this, and they only have themselves a tree to hide behind, and they are taking a ton of damage.
Oh my goodness, CPT walking up, pinching them, taking angles, seeing what they could do. The smoke's coming through so that they can walk up freely up on this hill, but are they going to be able to catch anyone as they rotate upwards? It doesn't look like they see a single soul. Were they a little bit too late?
I feel like the firefights that were going on stalled everything, or did they not? Did we see like maybe a shimmy around that and didn't expect exactly where the movement comes in? Because CPT is still taking shots at people, and I think that they found out. Yep, we're starting to see the markers come out, and this seems to be the way that they're going to come into it. Spot out on the other side, going to feed that information over. That is a lot of damage on an opening set of shots. Curiosity going to play around the outside of it, and this fight is moving indoors fast. It is beautiful sprays all over the place, and CPT is showing us yet again how they are so hard to contend against.
Oh my goodness, that Cyril just did its magic. Curiosity just getting that entry that their team needed, and they just pinched this team in a corner. It's so incredibly hard to fight against a Seer. I almost feel like there's little to no counter against Seer. Just having complete wall hack in the whole entire fight and the ability to cancel a shield battery, that's just too much, man.
What is this circle? It's like mostly water, and they're going to have to navigate very little landmass. Crazy Cucumber and team, they do have this in control, but I don't even know how much cover is really there for other teams to play around, given the fact that we still have 8 teams alive.
No, not that much cover, and I believe that square that you see on the map is a gravity cannon, so that's not going to give that much cover as well. It's going to be hard playing this one indefinitely. There might be a couple rocks here and there, but I believe Crazy Cucumber will end up getting landed on, as teams will want to go for that best building.
Coming into this one, 10K Fist, I believe, is now bumped into CPT, and that's a rough place to be in. Looks like they're just going to go have Wraith out of this one and pray that they can get away. Actually, see, maybe they can bait it back. Going for a Trixie play, but man, that was red.
It's kind of hard to trick a team that's completely tracking your Wraith phase in the open, but it's a nice try. If there were like a building around, it probably could have worked. Unfortunately, in that situation, no. And here we've got Daniel Spams getting a knock with the Havoc. And they're kind of in a 2v2 situation. Very nice shots with the flat line. Luvat's doing a lot of work, but ending up going down to 20 HP. Matt getting a nice battery pop. They could maybe turn this one around.
They've got to slow down the tempo, and that looks like what they're trying to accomplish right now. Now, creeping back in on the opposite side of this one, seeing if maybe they can find the res comes out onto it. Nade comes out just a second too low, but they're going to go ahead and continue it up. Arcstar going to follow as well, but Titan's now down to 1 member, and Mac realizes he's got to go. There is nowhere to hide in this, and you can see shots now coming in at range. He's got to retreat back to these rocks because that's about all he's got.
Yeah, that was so unfortunate. They get angled out. Where did Kev come from with the R301? Oh, it's another team going around the rock as well. It's a duo that ended up ruining the parade.
It's the hill and these rocks. That's about all you've got to work around. And it feels like everybody that rotated early has the only things to play with. And now you're going to be walking into a dangerous position. Rollers MX still sitting on kills and making it into the late game, proving again these duos have the heart to make it in here and pick up some points.
And it looks like the Outsiders still have that building to play in, as those teams didn't have to rotate quite yet. We've got CPT still alive as well. Ghosted Toxic, is that a soul? No, I believe that's a duo, at least, in the back there in Fish Farm. So we've got this trio in here. We have Armory, CPT trying to work their way in. And then take a look back here. Alright, so that's Mercenary and Adrian. They came in for the third party. So we've got 2 duos on the side.
This is problematic for a lot of our late rotators, and you can see that's why so much is slowed down. This, it definitely has the cover for 5 people, depending on how this next shift goes, and it goes back over into another island finish. This is interesting, to say the least, on how this is going to be played, but very good if you're an Outsiders fan.
Hey, we were talking about where I wanted an end zone, and I'm like, hey, we never seen a fish farm end zone, and this is a fish farm end zone, right? It's kind of hard to play this one out because it pulls a bit out of fish farm, not out of fish farms, but like it's a weird pull for sure. It's not a very common one, indeed. But Armory is still in. One building is also still in. Then we've got these big rocks in the gravity cannon that I was talking about. That's the square on the map. So that's the gravity cannon where they're at right now on Roller SimX.
This rock right here might provide some of the best cover potentially just due to the verticality of it and the rotation potential around. The only issue is you've got to be pretty careful, as there's going to be teams that are going to be just crammed into whatever buildings they can find. You can see at range, another fight already starting to break out, and that was pretty in the open. Roller sees this opportunity and says, okay, we've got to make this play. We need to get involved in this. They're going to go for a little bit of a wider push around, but it's going to be Outriders looking back over into CPT.
Take a look at that. That was a clean wipe. So now there's only 4 squads remaining. They picked up some placement points as a duo, and oh my goodness, they've got 6 kills.
Yeah. I mean, they're putting in some work right now. Now in the top 4 as well, they're going to be walking away with a ton of placement points. Rollers, if they play their cards right, depending on how this is lined up, they have the capabilities to be more sneaky and moving around, but they also have the capabilities to move much more freely, only having these 2 members, and that might be its own benefit in this fight.
Yeah, and if it ends in the open, like in the water, Bangalore is going to be... Oh, no. They're getting flanked. Nice nade there, though. Nice nade. They might be able to pull this off. The Bolt's going to do 14 damage. Oh, we get our first knock on Horks here. Can we get our second knock? We're going to jump down and pull it around, get the angle, and that is a squad wipe 8. They made it to 3rd place, and 6 kills turns into 8.
And now the push is coming out on the other side. Curiosity, Logan's opening up. Magic playing from back behind this one. Means the fact that Outsiders have got to play the more defensive route. Crazy Cucumber already taking a lot of damage. Means the fact that trying to get feet back underneath of him, but Packers is going to go down while Crazy Cucumber, and we saw Dinosaur Venom trying to get their meds back up into a better position. Dinosaur Venom trying to put out some work, but Curiosity does continue to put in so much damage onto this one. Now it is just Crazy Cucumbers. Don't forget, we still have our duo back behind this. They're now coming in. Crazy Cucumber cannot go that way. He's now getting shot from behind. He's going to go down, and Rollers MX is coming into this. They have an idea on how they're going to be making their approach. They know that they're outnumbered, but they're also moving in. Unfortunately for them, not too much damage was done on the other side of this, and Adrian already taken some, but Mercenary just walks right into this one, takes a face full of lead, but also manages to pump out a lot of damage in return, trying to get this one down. They know that they want this, but the aim is coming up big for Mercenary's already down. Adrian's trying to get it, but is going to be denied. CPT picks up the round.
Oh my goodness, they played so well as a duo. They actually almost got the 2 knocks that they wanted, but one of those members from CPT ended up living with that 20 HP or so. I think it was Logan. See, it's hard to kill a Bangalore in a 2v3 situation, and CPT pick up a win. This is getting a little bit spicy. We've got a lot of different winners here in NA, and they took advantage of every situation. That's what we're talking about. The duos have to take advantage of when teams fight. That's the only way they can get kind of like a fair fight in for themselves, is to pick up the kind of scraps when people are low, and they've done a great job of aggressing on that. Congrats to them.
CPT's fight up against, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, Outsiders that was over there. They managed to move into that, and it was just too technically precise. They didn't take a lot of damage, and they managed to wipe them out. And so whenever we saw Rollers trying to make their play, it was just against a strong, still 3-up squad with very minimal damage, still ready to fight yet again. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Outsiders put in some more damage. That might have been Rollers' game.
Yeah, it really could have been. And I would actually give the benefit to the doubt to them because of the fact that they output so much damage. They had the digi threats, they could see through the smokes, and they're doing really well in the 2v3 in particular, so it could have been definitely really close.
Following up early fights leading into a much calmer mid-game seems to be the nature of what we're looking at time and time again on this map, and the way that North America is opting in to play this. It's just a come as you are and try to fight your way in at a certain stage, though, because so many squads still alive. But you've been talking about it. It feels like our trackers right now are just putting in a ton of work on this map and feeding over so much information to allow their teams to get kills.
And fake preds, it's just so hard fighting with a charge rifle inside of a building, and that's kind of, you know, the benefit, but also the backfire of playing the charge rifle. If you end up making it into a 3v3 inside a building, there's not much you can do.
You can see this is where it all went awry. Just that one moment. I think that Outsiders was trying to get 2 men's up, and Packers was just trying to stall, but just took too much damage. That led to just a set of dominoes falling, leading to Crazy Cucumber just having to run, and nowhere is safe. You can see having to get away from it, and I think that Curiosity picked that one up. I don't know who actually got the kill. I'm curious to see if Rollers did end up getting it, but look at how much damage was there. Magic was down. Adrian was still putting in some work onto this. This dance comes in, gets him low, but it's going to be the outside shots that finish it all out, and that was just really well played from CPT Rollers altogether.
Yeah, it was beautifully played, and the MX Rollers, so they got second place and 9 kills. They might have had like an 18-point game as a duo, which would be in like almost uncalled for, right? Like that is just like one of the best duo games that I've ever seen, besides maybe like this Sarah Sutcliffe clutch. I mean, but that was a full-on game that they played, and they pulled off really well. So big congratulations to them for being able to do so much. And I'd love to see them keep on pursuing that aggressiveness and see them in the top 10 as a duo in an almost full lobby.
There is a lot to be said for IGLing duos and trios, because you have to make sure that you're making the right call every single time. If anything, playing disadvantage right now has the capabilities to be better long-term, because there still is another week of qualifiers as we're looking through everything all considered. Now, I know that we're trying to get everything together, so there we go. CPT wanted to look at those numbers all considered, and yet again, good performance coming out with 2 members above 1,500 damage.
Wow, so we've got the Bangalore Ash combo, 1,700 damage each and 553 for this year, but hey, you know what, you gotta stay alive, you have to be in the back, that's no problem. But look, they've played and fought all together. Look at the amount of assists everyone had. Nobody kind of stole the show. Everyone was doing as much damage as they absolutely could. So very big congrats to them. 20% shot accuracy by Curiosity, 19% by Logan. Incredible.
I mean, this was again a technically precise set of fights there at the end, where they got weakened players, they managed to capitalize time and they did have a problem dealing with the duo, but that was just a very quick response on the other side. Still snapped, move away from the problem, got an outside viewpoint into it, and managed to take them down. That was just a very technically well-played game. So now, Outsiders, Fake Preds, and CPT, diversity continues on our round leaders.
Yeah, so we've got 3 different winners, kind of looking like what it did earlier today. And now we're going to go into our standing. So this is CPT with 54 points. Wow, 6 points ahead of Fake Preds. Outsiders not too far behind, but a decent bit. 39 points versus 48. And then we've got Rollers MX catching up. Our duo in 4th place. Incredible.
That is a statement in and of itself. I'm looking down, and I think that whenever we're looking through the top 10, they're the only duo that's managed to make it up into here, and that's just based off performance. 15 eliminations as a duo. That puts them at the 3rd highest right now as a duo. That is just crazy.
And take a look at their eliminations. 15 eliminations. That's more eliminations than the team above them as well. So that's just absolutely phenomenal. And here are our last place teams from 11th to 18th. We've got 7 points on 3 trees. they're picking it up. Team Ramrod, they're really aggressive, but I feel like they're just missing like a spice in the recipe, you know, like something to really pull them together and get them far, because I've noticed that they have great shots, but maybe they need a better game plan going forward. G59, we've seen them die a little bit early, so we'll see how that they can continue to improve throughout the series. It's only been 3 games. We're only halfway, so there's 3 more to go for them to catch up in terms of points and eliminations.
And it is still anybody's game. We have not seen anybody manage to run away with this yet. Sure, our teams that are, I would say, in the top 5 are probably feeling better about walking away with that first place position. And our team that's presently in first does have, I believe it's a 6-point lead going off of memory.
Yep.
But that's not a big lead in the slightest. We saw that early outs can spell doom for a lot of these teams. And with the way the circles have been, let's be honest, very dramatically against the edge walls coming up from this, means the fact that rotations have been very, very difficult. The teams that have been, I would say, beneficiaries of being in the South might find a problem if we see this replicated and get hard shifts very far to the north now.
Yeah, absolutely. Or to the west, as we've seen the southeast zones continue. But you never know what will happen. Maybe some new legend comps. I feel like a Newcastle might have been good there as well, for some teams to kind of play in the water potentially. We haven't seen that much defensive combo like Newcastle, Watson, which might help some teams if I would recommend anything.
I know, again, we've been talking about meta, but also playing what you're comfortable with. Sometimes being a little bit bulkier, being a little bit slower, also gives you the time to make the choices that you need to in a chaotic situation. It's very common for new teams, whenever you're starting to synergize, figure out how you want to play, figuring out the way that you want to go for your wins, stepping away from what is meta to lean into what is a touch more safe, right? So that way you give yourself that time to start learning what the right calls are. So then whenever you're playing fragiler, faster characters, you feel like you know exactly what you need to be doing and how you need to be responding with that speed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all situational. Depending on the end zone, if they're all in buildings, well, a Caustic Rampart might be better, but Caustic Rampart might not work as well if it's all in the open field and you're not able to put up those walls. So yeah, like you said, you want to kind of go your comfort picks, and sometimes you change your legends based off of, you know, your gameplay and how things are going, but sometimes you just stick to what's tried and true and figure out the little mistakes that you guys are doing, because to be honest, any legend composition could work if you played it 1,000% perfectly.
As long as there are some synergies.
Yeah.
I have played plenty of comps that, in my brain, I was talking with my friends. I'd be like, yeah, this is going to work. And then you're 2 minutes into the match and you're like, no, this was not the strategy to pull out here. And that's one of the reasons why we do see what is meta, just because of those interconnected synergies make them inherently strong. Enough of us talking about what could or may happen. We are now into legend selection, and it looks like we're seeing the tried and true start to pop off.
I see one Watson and Crimson going with the Revenant Lifeline, so they're still doing their thing with Revenant Lifeline. That's an example of playing what you're comfortable with, but I personally don't know how Revenant's gonna work. Oh, we've got our third player. We've got a Valkyrie. Okay, I'm happy for them. They've got their third connected. That's great. And CPT playing that, you know, Bangalore. Bangalore is great for this map. It provides the defensiveness with the smokes and provides the offensiveness with her ultimate. So, I honestly, if you were to pick one legend...
Wait, I was going to say, is this a mix-up? Don't they normally go Lightning Rod?
Wait, Preds. Yeah, where are they going here? Fish farms?
Fish farms.
Okay.
I guess it's just due to the way that the pathing comes in. Lightning Rod's hard to get to. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You were saying something. If I could do something with one legend, what?
All right. If you could pick one legend that you would want on your team, which would it be?
Am I allowed to be kind of lame and just say the fact that I would like it to be a Valkyrie?
For the rotations?
Just for the rotations, the scouting capabilities. That being said, it needs to be a good Valkyrie. Or if you're, I mean, that said, I just like having I like to play support and tankier styled characters as well, so really just anybody that can get me to where I need to be is what I always do.
Kind of like an Ashe, yeah, Ashe, Valkyrie, Wraith, those type of characters you like to play with. And Titans, though, they don't need those kind of characters because they're straight up in their faces, beaming with the RU-45, taking down 2 and about to take down the last one. They're just going to chase them down. Mac is playing Seer, so it should be an easy takedown, but wow, 3 kills.
301 and a Prowler off of an early drop fight. Man, that feels pretty good, depending on it. Meanwhile, as you saw his teammates, I think was fighting with a 45 just a moment ago. Fake Preds dealing with the contenders that are around them at the time, so have to be kind of careful. I believe the fact that it's going to be Crimson in his team that are playing off in this position. They are close to each other, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bound fight due to happen in any given second. I do think that Fake Preds want control over this area.
So, are they fighting a trio or a duo? It's hard for me to tell here, but we're about to find out as Fake Preds does push the building route, takes down D Thornton. They take down PFD Gaming. Oh no, there's still one more to go.
Crimson's not feeling too good though. He's trying to get out of there and retreat away. Daniel's going to be getting some vision on that one and does connect in. So off to an early start. Fake Preds already picking up some more points.
Done and dusted. Well, it was a good decision for them to land over here because that just gives them a little more leeway how they can play the rest of the game out as they already picked up 3 points. LWB, nice shots with the Spitfire and the gold mag off drop already. Wow, that is something. Penguin popping the shield battery. Looks like he's going to be able to get this off. Frosty is going to go for the flank. They're looking inside, but there are caustic barrels, so you got to be real. Oh, you don't have to be real careful when the caustic is 1 HP.
Yep, that makes it I guess, easier to say the least. So that's going to make LWB finding themselves some footing. Team that we haven't quite necessarily seen make a massive climb up the leaderboard, but it has some of the best names. Let's be real. Penguin Lawyer is a phenomenal name. And I feel sad that I am not as creative as him.
Penguin Lawyer reminds me of that one game I played as a child. The Penguin Club Penguin had some nice mini games on there. That was fun playing. I don't know. Have you ever tried it out?
Oh man, that's a callback to where things I cannot even remember what happens in that, other than standing around and watching people get banned. That's about the most I remember in Club Penguin is somebody coming in and trying to say bad things and then just disappearing.
Oh no, I remember it as like a bunch of nice mini games and some cool skins.
I guess that just shows the difference. I was much more about the interesting lifestyle choices of what can be happening in Club Penguin, but 3 trees making a push into this high ground point right now, and President Pot looked like he's going to be able to find a quick way to finish that one. And position away from it, he does get some company that jumps back down on top of him, but that was a beautiful read, and already waiting for him to come after him.
2v2 right now. Yee needs to do something with this Havoc, but there is no turbocharger on it, and the secondary is just a bow. It's not much to really work with, and he's not going to be able to fly up. They're going to trade the revive. We're going to go for the kick. We go for 1 kick. We get the cancel. But opening that door might have been actually bad for his team, as his team is now getting demolished. Oh no, can we get a revive? Are we going to go in and push? What kind of angle are we playing here? I don't know what's going on through his mind, but he's going to push through. He's going to push through. No, he ends up losing that Adrian with the biggest clutch of his life.
Oh man, Rollers, how do you do it? Opposite end of this, you can see it's going to be the Don't Hurt Me squad. Now getting very close to Daniel spams and a very aggressive route, as this is going to be a territory that they're going to be comfortable with. And I gotta say, let me make sure that I wasn't getting baited by camera, but I do think that there is somebody pretty close. Yeah, okay, there we go. G59 was close enough, but decided that they don't want to hang around there. I think that is a smart call.
It is. You never. This is kind of what I tell my team when we're playing against a Seer is if there's a Seer ultimate and you're able to run away from it, run the heck away, because you don't want to fight in their territory where they can see everything you're doing. But if it is on you and you cannot run and you're not far, like if it was a really good Seer ultimate, you just have to crouch and fight. There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah, and also this is a out of ring fight, and there is merit to potentially get some KP out of it, because they don't know who they're fighting at any given time. But that said, why stall yourself instead of get to a point where you're going to find a position to get placement points? We're still at 10 squads alive. Oftentimes, that is the mistake you will see people do, is overcommit into fights way too early whenever they don't really need to. Unless you're really stuck outside the zone and the other team just will not unentrench and forces a fight, sometimes you just don't really need to take those big game fights unless it's just no other option.
I don't know, Spiritual looks like he's in danger, but very nice shots coming through, and it actually ends up getting the first knock here, but has lost his teammate. His teammate has been done and dusted, thirsted away. Oh, we've got a massive, though. If we can hit big shots here. 1, 2. Oh, they were so big, but it was a 2v1, and Frosty stays alive there.
Wow, that was close. I think far closer than they were expecting whenever they made that push in. I think the G59 back over there. Here's what's going to be happening pretty close range. CPT, who's been having a phenomenal run today. You have themselves a point that they're playing from. They've got their backs up against the wall, and looks like they've managed to find themselves a Volt to play with. And I know you've been talking about it, so it looks like we're going to get some more fun happening around it, provided that Curiosity can manage to handle this and not get too harassed before he can make it back to his teammates.
The Volt is just so strong on controller that, you know, it would be a shame not to pick up in general. And they're going to actually switch out, because giving the Volt to someone that can see through smokes, maybe with a digi threat, is the play, in my opinion. Curiosity's going to be happy just taking the Peacekeeper, and they are going to push off of this, knowing that they have the Volt in hand.
Here we go. Push coming in on one side, but opposite side, Titans look like they're playing away from this right now. I like the fact that they read on the push coming in, but Curiosity, there are no brakes on this train. They know where it's going, seeing if maybe they can get the shots off, but that was a near miss on survival. I would say about another second or two, and they were about to get a face full of Peacekeeper.
They had a near-death experience, but they made it out alive thanks to the Valkyrie ultimate. Coming in clutch. Sometimes you get it off, sometimes you don't, but it's always good to give it a shot, especially knowing that one of the strongest teams in your lobby is still on your tail.
59, looks like they've got some Prince Roman through on the Trident, getting some tickle damage onto it, but not enough to discourage them trying to make it past rush hour traffic. We haven't seen too many Arc Stars come out. An Arc Star can do a ton of damage to the Trident in and of itself, but the problem with it is, whenever they're just hauling through so fast, it's hard to make the response to switch to the Arc Star, get it prepped, throw it out there, and manage to hit it in the time that a Trident can just roam past you.
Especially at that distance, too. Like, maybe if it was a lot closer and it was just, like, roaming right in front of you, but at the distance, everyone's playing it safe, right? They're playing, like, near the wall or around the water, near the edge of the map, and that's kind of how you're supposed to play Tridents. And as soon as you see a team nearby, you click that extra speed button, and you just go on right on through. So, well played by everyone driving around the Tridents, not able to get Arc Start. We've got a massive in hand on Black Wolf, so close range fights is going to be their main thing.
I mean, LWB getting into this point, remember, they made the evacuation a second ago, and they found themselves a good point to play. This has got vision for days up here. They do have some people that are hanging down right at their doorstep, and so that's why they're trying to keep an eye onto them. But with the new circle, the way it's lining up, this is a very strong position that could carry them all the way into the late game.
I want to see them scan a beacon, but that's just something that people get greedy for, right? You're like, you can scan beacon. There's 10 teams around, no problem. I'm sure you'll make it out alive, and then you die, and then you regret it. So maybe no beacon scan just yet. We've got a low ulti though, so all the loot around nearby is ours.
Seeing right now how the other teams are starting to stack up. We do have most of the action going on around Barometer in and of itself. That's no surprise at all. It does look like its root in team is leaving the position. Are they our roaming trident? If so, they're going to bump into our other team that was doing the roaming trident, as they're getting pretty close to cucumbers. Yep, that's going to be yet again Fake Preds getting very, very close to outsiders.
So many teams nearby in Barometer. There's a couple teams on the outskirts, but this Spitfire is doing damage, doing work. We've got 4 batteries, so no problem when it comes to meds here. They're just gonna take the angles that they need to. It's hard to infiltrate this Dragon Ball because they don't have a 3rd floor in this one in particular, so there's nothing you could fly up to. You really just only have these 2 doors to shoot from, and then the bottom. And that's kind of going to be hard for Fake Preds. Maybe they're just going to opt to rotate instead. Bangalore ult comes down. They're going to dodge that by just moving over to the right. They're in no harm's way.
I'd be surprised if this is potentially just a covering shot. While I say that, lots of damage coming out, but it looks like that's all it's going to need. Just make sure to get their teammates in, close the doors, and now comfy cozy in this point for now. They are very close to the edge of this ring.
Doing some spiders this late in the game. I've never seen people doing that late, but hey, if you need some better attachments, so why not do it? There's still only 9 squads remaining, so we can get the rotation as long as that team ends up leaving us alone. Oh, so there's another squad nearby, and I don't think they know about Fake Preds.
No, I think that this shifted out just perfectly, and Fake Preds watching this, if we see them approach, smoke's now coming out, another member coming out and getting close to that point means the fact that they are going to third-party this. There would be no reason not to. As we're seeing the way that the rings are lined up, this is still in play. Curiosity is going to be the team that's going to be, or the member that is going to be regrouping up to the north of that, so that's going to be CPT. And now 3 very strong firefight-heavy squads all looking at each other.
I guess it's like the best teams like to go to the best places and hang out with the best of friends. So those 3 teams all playing that side. Oh my god, it just doesn't stop firing. We're hitting for flesh. They're going to be baited into going out, but they're not going to.
That just hurts. You know, there's just a firing line the moment that door opens up just to harass. I believe it was Logan that had to run for his life back there. Do note that we've got our friends Adrian Mercenary getting pretty close as well. Titans never content to stop fighting in and of themselves. Looks like they found some new targets of their own to roam after, and that is going to be a, I would say, pretty okay fight. They did take some damage off of it, all considered, still sitting well on their armor, and going to be feeling pretty good as they're continuing to stack up KP.
Yeah, they've got a minimum of 5 kills, maybe 6 in their belt right now. They're going to be looting. They're still in the zone. They don't have places to go or people to see, so they'll be comfy out in their home playing video games, racking up, you know, maybe some money potentially if they do good enough here today in the PlayStation tournament. Oh, but listen to this. There's a team nearby flying right into them potentially.
Oh, and look who it is. Everywhere that there's fighting, these guys want to be. And just going to go ahead and start throwing in. It's just a mess. Titans thought that they were getting some control over this, but now just getting harassed from every single angle, just trying to get away and cannot do it. Already 1 member down, and it's going to be a quick exploit off of this Mac. Still just trying to move forward, seeing if he can get to this res. It's going to be a push coming out on the other side of it, but look at the damage that is coming out. Lovelet's trying to hold it together, is going to go down, but Mac has to just leave. He cannot stay in this firefight.
That's me in any situation with my friends. If I notice that we're losing the fight, I'm out. I'm trying to play positioning, and that's what Mac's doing, so great on him. Unfortunately for Ferks, though, like, using the jetpack and unable to get out of that horizon, all that just felt so sad to watch.
Some trouble on the other end of this one. Curiosity down, and this is going to be the continual fight that's going to be happening around this location as different teams are just going to get more and more information onto each other. Are we going to see the push coming down after it? I think we are. Doors now opening up. Curiosity has not yet been rezzed, but it looks like Logan's going to go for a flank around this with good read, already getting hits onto health, but still has to make sure that they play back into this. They do not want to lose their teammate, so coming back in, making sure to defend up, but a good counter move coming through. Smoke's now coming out to see if they can get the time to get the res up and maybe fight this, or maybe just retaliate and get away.
Oh, you gotta note Logan's game sense there on everything that he's just done. He baited someone to looking in, flanked them, got some shots on them, went for the gold bag res, and now take a look at this. Are we gonna be able to win our 1v1 in the smoke? We've got a digi threat. We can see everything through there, and the Bangalore's just 1 HP. We take Mercenary down, and we end up winning this fight. Incredible job by CPT, and a good job from Mercenary for staying alive for that long against a trio.
CPT, though, is going to have to make the move down to the south. LWB, who's been holding down position for quite a while, you can see, have been on the receiving end of a couple of bullets, and now just trying to get Penguin Warrior back up. So Black Wolf is going to have some friends to contend up with, but it's going to be a res on the opposite side. Are we going to see some damage come through? That's some weakened shielding. Oh, that was a brutal double tap.
Oh
Make it a
God. That was smooth. That 115 instantly. And they can actually get the revive and get a recovery. Yep, here we go. So the revive's coming in. They're going to get Frosty back in the game. They still got 40 seconds, which is plenty of time. Although Frosty, you got to take note, Frosty is the Valkyrie, so we won't have Valko to fly in. They're going to have to walk it in or use jump pad to make it in. But at least they're a full 3-man. And here, take a look at this. Frosty's got some loot. Do we go inside the zone, tank a little bit, and get some better loot inside? Yes, we do.
Good job on scouting out the loot for teammates coming in, and this is going to be a strong reset. For now, looks like going to be at least in halfway decent positioning, given the way that the other teams are stacked up. LWB has to figure out next action, though, as it's going to be a Western move, most likely, as there's few options to work with. But do note CPT is holding down the do-up center on this, and there are a lot of very, very strong squads still alive, and this is going to be a hard push to make.
TPT still haven't stopped the action. And non-stop poking and fighting throughout. Oh, and Logan getting absolutely beamed by that charge rifle. We ran out of meds, I think. That's why we're crafting shield batteries. We only got cells. And take a look at this Curiosity. Yes, the beams, the one clip on Frosty. The car SMG is just so strong. They're going to go for the finish, but they get Crypto EMP'd. We're going to take down that EMP so the enemy team doesn't have vision on us. Can we get this armor swap? It's going to be hard. The other team is shooting us. We are in the zone. We're tanking that zone. We're going to climb up to help our teammate. Can we help our teammate in time? That's a nice clip on the caustic there. And we're staying alive on the edge, but we've lost them.
There is so much going on, so many teams now converging in on this, realizing that there could be an opportunity to third party, but now it's becoming third, fourth, and fifth party. Fifth team looking like they could be coming in at any moment. CPT getting more and more shots in, seeing if they can just get kill points as they're amassing. But you can see ults are coming in from everywhere. It's a good job for Curiosity to navigate this now, moving into the low ground, seeing if maybe he could juke away from the firefights as they're going to be going, because the rest of his squad is getting demolished up there. This might have been a pump on the brakes to all the other squads, but yes, now separating out, we've got our lines of demarcation, and look at that. We still have Fake Preds real strong.
Fake Preds coming in for that third party and all the loot. That's going to do them well. Look at that. 4 squads and only 6 people remaining. So they account for half of the lobby right now. This should be an easy win.
Solo hunting we go. Black Wolf trying to move in. Maybe we might see some assistance coming out, but none of these solos really want to get too involved. Mac already taking a face full of damage, trying to get away, but at least revealing for the other members that are still alive, maybe they can see something that's going on and try to make a play around it, and Black Wolf's doing a pretty good job of keeping away from this.
Oh my goodness, it's 3 solos running away from 3 fake Preds.
Okay, what are they going to try to do now? Okay, they're like, okay, you got to try to get away from us last time. We now know where you're going, and he's still just catching air. Takes a lot of damage, but I mean, he is just looping right now, just trying to keep these guys away, somehow surviving. He's got to have nothing left. Yeah, he's sitting on it. Finally going to get spotted and taken down.
Yeah, where did that last rat go? That's Curiosity. Okay, in the zone. Preventing them from getting that other kill point. So ends up dying to the storm there. Fake Preds is the champion. I don't know if they caught a little tag in the end to see if they could catch that kill, but overall, a nice game for Fake Preds, going for that 3v1v1 to finish it off. It's like a little bit of hide and seek in Apex Legends.
Black Wolf, man, he impressed. Don't give it to him for free. Make him work for it. You never know. An opportunity could show itself, and he wanted that opportunity to show up some way. I also want to point out, if you guys are watching and are like, well, why didn't the last guy try to fight? Remember that we're running off of a points-based system. He already knows that he was 3v1'd out. High likelihood he's not going to win that fight. And this is a team that they're competing at the top of the leaderboard. Every single point could be valuable. And yes, while there is a chance he could have won, at the end of the day, there is a chance that that one kill that they picked up could be the reason that they lost. So instead, leans out, goes into the zone, feeds it over into the ring instead of feeding that 1 KP over to an opponent.
Yeah, it's a smart play. Sometimes it might be against the rules, but in here, it's not against the rules. So it definitely was a smart play to do so. And here we go with the replays. Titans doing massive damage with the RE45. Take a look at that, 136 in one spray. The hipfire did so much work here on 3 trees, but unfortunately, take a look at this Havoc. There is no turbocharger, so it takes a lot of time to charge up. Goes for the kick, but ultimately the kick actually ends up making him lose his teammates here that were both low, and he wasn't able to push off that nor go for the revive, and then was on the low ground going for this 1v1 and ends up getting 1v3. Absolutely saddening for this team here, but great for Adrian.
I mean, sometimes if you live by the Havoc, you can die by the Havoc. It can be its own double-edged sword. Duos finding more and more work inside of this, as I think that we saw Rollers making it into late games yet again. Titans, though, we've been talking about a lot of these teams at the top of the leaderboard. These guys are quite aggressive in finding KP upon KP, but at that same time, they're not necessarily finding those like placement points that the other teams are doing. And that said, most of their firefights are very, very technically good. It's just they get involved in some very weird fights. Like right here, this is just the exact opposite of what this comp wants to be doing.
Yeah, it's just so hard to play in here, especially against a Seer. Once people throw in a few nades, it's easy maybe to hold with a Watson because the nades don't get through. The Horizon ulti doesn't get through, but with the composition that they had, it's just so hard. And Black Wolf hitting massive, massive shots as we've seen there. And like you said, did a great job staying alive there at the end.
All right, Curiosity. I see. Get every single KP you can, and then just have the world dropped upon you. And it's like, I think that the solos were very aware of what was going on, specifically Black Wolf, and I love the fact that this is what allowed Curiosity to be like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with this. I realize what's happening, and got away. He almost got shot, though. Almost. You saw the tracers that were coming in for him.
Yeah, almost. Did a great job denying the team, not knowledge, but kill points. So very good job from them. It's been an incredible day today. So much action has unfolded, and that was our 4th game today. So only a couple more games to go. What has kind of been your highlight of the day today?
I gotta say, team coordination. In North America, it feels like a lot of these teams play off of a massive amount of faith in their teammate and will make breaches that sometimes shouldn't work, but just due to the power of teamwork and friendship and anime, somehow they manage to run through. The first guy's going to go down, and the other two know exactly where to go based off of comms. And that's why we're seeing such massive damage outputs come out for these players.
Absolutely. For me, it's MX Rollers. They did exceptionally well as the duo. But hey, let's take a look at our winners of our last game. Daniel Spams, Itzerald, and Wako. We've got 19, 8, and 20% shot accuracy. But take a look at our damage. Accuracy isn't, most important in Apex. It's staying alive and outputting so much damage that you could take squads down. It's really that perseverance and it shows here with the 12 kills.
I mean, accuracy is a cool stat, but it also predominantly says what type of weapon you're using. Like, if you're running around with, say, I don't know, a Spitfire, maybe your shot accuracy isn't going to be the highest. But meanwhile, if you're running around with, I don't know, DMR-styled weapons, sniper-style weapons, your accuracy should technically be higher, as, again, 3 different winners, with Fake Preds now picking up 2, and that might be starting to close the door on this overall leaderboard.
Yeah, that's going to show in our overall standings, because that's 2 12-point wins here as we go over and see, is Fake Preds at the top in our overall leaderboards? They should be. Outsiders has been playing consistently, so has CPT. Take it on over and see. So 71 points for Fake Preds, just 3 over CPT. This is a close call for these two squads. Outsiders at 44, quite a distance. It's almost going to be so hard to catch up. Rollers MX maintaining that 4th place position. Titans at 5th place with 35, actually very close to snagging that 4th place from them. Keep in mind, our 1st to 10th place do make it into our seasonal final, so that's definitely important to take a look at. Let's see, so our 10th place team has 5 points. Let's take a look and see what our 11th place team has. Are they close to catching up? Is anyone close to catching up? Yeah, another 5 points, and 7 points, 8 points, or 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, 7 points. I'm reading it backwards. Well, I'm so sorry. But anyways, they're super close. It only takes 1 good game to catch on up there.
Hey, we're at like 10 games of Apex that we've casted today. You're allowed to get dyslexic.
I'm reading it backwards. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to judge. I do want to point out, though, look at how close that overall leaderboard was for 1st and 2nd. Only 3 points separating, tied on eliminations. It is just placement points that separated them out. And remember, it was CPT that sent out Curiosity to die and make sure that he went and lost his life over to the ring instead, because 3 points versus 4 points, every little bit is going to matter. And also, I mean, shout out to CPT for competing up against a team that is now walked away with 2 wins and still finding ways to keep up in points.
Yeah, it honestly isn't an easy thing to do. Sometimes you have to go for the placement. Sometimes you go for the kills. You try and play as aggressive as possible, but make sure that there's one team member still alive, just to stay alive enough to gain a couple placement points or 2. But yeah, if you've been enjoying the action, make sure that you tune in for all different types of PlayStation tournaments. And if you've want to join in on our next qualifiers, make sure to go to compete.playstation.com and sign up. You could be casted by us in a future tournament, and you are going to be able to get a chance of winning some of our cash prizes and much more. So make sure you definitely tune in and sign up and join us.
I'm just going to say, there's a duo in 5th place. Think that you can do better? Now's your opportunity. I'm challenging. Yeah, I'm throwing down the gauntlet right now. You can sign up, come in, join in. What's the worst that happens? You learn something, you have some fun. Oh, darn, you don't win, but you even still stand a chance to make it into the finals? Why would you not want to do that? That give you something to think about. I'm even going to give you some time to think about it, as we're going to take a quick break to go ahead and get everything set up for our last 2 games. We will see you guys in just a minute.
Silence them!
Welcome to the home of PlayStation Tournament's Apex Legends Esports. Get ready for all the Apex content you need to improve your game and win prizes in fast-paced, easy-to-join competitions. Look forward to exciting content to get you competition ready, including a monthly live show hosted by me, Rainday, where we'll discuss the latest in Apex, chat with some huge guests, recap the PlayStation tournaments, and much, much more.
So far, so good.
Videos that feature breakdowns, tips, and exciting interviews. And in-depth articles featuring news, ways to improve your game, and conversations with competition winners and esports insiders. So, like, follow, and subscribe for Apex Legends content. And visit the PlayStation Tournament's website, compete.playstation.com, to sign up for competitions.
PlayStation.
Calling all fighters. The PlayStation Tournament's FGC Arcade is back with the Summer Community Series starting this June.
Let battle commence.
Get ready for 6 weeks of scorching competition and awesome prizes across your favorite fighting games. Sign up in-game on your PS4 console or on the competition center at compete.playstation.com for your chance to win cash prizes and a round-trip ticket and competitor pass to EVO 2022. Think you're up for the challenge?
Welcome back, everyone, to the Apex Legends Master Circuit qualifier number 3. Today we are in the NA region going on for this competition, and we're almost done. We've got 2 games left to go. We've got Game 5 and Game 6. Incredible action. I'm Girl, and here with me is Matt.
We still have a race for first with 2 games left, and that's what I've got my sights set on. We still also have a compacted leaderboard right down below that, so plenty of opportunities. You can see Outsiders, Fake Preds, CPT, and Fake Preds yet again. It has been a consistent, feels like, following with these teams as they have been fighting from the get-go and near on no fear, making it repeatedly into the in-rings.
And if you're just joining in, we're going to show you our leaderboard to see who is on the edge of winning and who's on the edge of making it into the top 10. So we've got Fake Preds at 71 points to refresh y'all, and CPT with 68 points. So definitely take a look at those 2 teams and see which team ends up dying first or getting a lot of eliminations. Now we've got Outsiders, Rollers, and Titans. They're 44, 36, 35, and even LWB are not out of that top 3, top 4 threshold, so definitely take a look at those teams as well. Rollers MX, a duo, if you're just tuning in and you didn't know. And then we've got 11 through 18. Team Ramrod at 10 points, G59 at 10, as well as 3 Trees at 10, so they're all tied up, and they're going to want to try and make it into our top 10 as our top 10 make a spot for themselves into our seasonal finals, so that's definitely important to account for.
Also do note a lot of our duos starting to fill back out, so picking up their teammates is sometimes it's a little hard directly after a holiday to get everybody back together. You know, they might be traveling or something else like that, or have to do chores or clean up the house after a party. You never know. It just takes a second. So getting everybody back together now, starting to see everything fill out. That's also one of the reasons why I think we're starting to see a lot longer of fights. But that said, I am still quite astounded. You mentioned them a second ago. Rollers, MX, man, how are they doing this? The IGLing on that has got to be so clean. Imagine if they had a third player.
For me, it's all about game sense for them, because no matter how good your aim is, it doesn't really matter if your game sense is also not on point. You have to know when to go in, when to go out, kind of how to play around, and they ended up making that 1v3 happen last game. Incredible from them with their shots as well. But for me, it's game sense. They definitely show how much time and effort they put in FPS games. That's my guess, right? Like, I feel like they've been playing for a long time and they're very smart.
Yeah, it's just a very consistent awareness of how to succeed in a, I guess, desperate situation, and there's a heroic tale to be said in and of itself. While they are competing to the top of the leaderboard, they're not at the very tippy top of it, but they're much higher than a lot of teams that do have all 3 players.
Yeah, for sure, and we are nearing our last game, so this is our second last game. Let's see if anyone changes up their composition. For me, it looks all around the same. We've got 1 Rampart, we've got a lot of Caustics, a lot of Horizons, even more Octanes than I've expected. I haven't seen Octane played that much in rank personally, but there are a lot of Octanes in the tournament today.
It's been more reappearing than I thought it would be, and I mean, can't stop, won't stop. I love to play him. It's just the fact that inside of the present comps, he can sometimes be hard to fit in. That said, if you got to go fast, you got to make the rotations. He does have some merit here, specifically with all of the gravity jumps that you can make. Just having somebody that can give you the speed to get there could give you a lot of maneuverability to counter out.
And we're really tired of South Zone, so we're going to get another North Zone pull. Just get pulled towards High Point, Thunder Watch, Lightning Rod even.
Oh, 2 teams in Lightning Rod.
Oh, another 50-50. Oh, this is the duo, though. Look at this.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, this is the duo. Against Titans, though. That's not even Fake Preds landing there. That's Titans.
Where did Fake Preds end up going? Are they the team that's pushing out west, right underneath of Dinosaur Venom? No, okay, that's a different team. Okay,
I don't see them, to be honest with you, but... Oh, no, Mill.
Okay,
take a look at that.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to see there for a moment.
All right, Imperia, what you got? Because you are in a situation, to say the least. We also have another firefight that's going to be breaking out here in a given moment. Like this. Defend up. Maybe try to use the choke points. Shields are not a thing in favor. We got the R99. Look, maybe you can get away. Are you going to stay and fight this 2v3, even for being weakened? Got to be careful. One teammate down. Do you go for the power play, or do you just try to get out, get some shots in, tries to get something? Is he going to be able to at least get the flush? And no, denied.
Aw, that was a nice try, though. Getting that knock, perfect shots with the R9 PK. Going for the high ground was kind of smart, although, you know, they got angled out, so unfortunate for them. They're just going to have to come back for a last game. They got time to prepare for that one if needed. And now we're on to Rulers MX. Adrian's looting up with some purple armor. Let's take a look. Okay, so there is another team nearby, near wall. Let's see if they end up fighting that one out. And I'm taking a look at the rest of the map. Mill looks like they're pushing. It looks like Fake Preds is also pushing a team, but they could potentially get third-partied by the Down Beast squad. So
that's
a lot of action.
That's a mess that can potentially be brewing over there, specifically for teams that are fighting at the top of the leaderboard, and also with the circle being entirely across the map from where they're going to be. That means that they're going to be ring chasing for quite a while. Now, LWB making their moves in, as it looks like getting more information, more vision, and just coming in full on. Takes a lot of damage, all considered, trying to go for the spray, and I think that they're on the bad receiving end of that one. Stepping through, going to go down, and now problems are starting to mount. Second one is going to fall, and it was just coming in one at a time at these different angles, and now has got to retreat. Penguin Lawyer has got to show some discretion to try to keep as many points as he can for his teammates.
Oh no, I wonder if this was planned by Fake Preds, kind of taking out a team in the top 10 position or a team in contention, but Lawyer is going to run away and survive, as it seems that they're not getting chased down. Another fight is going to ensue in Lightning Rod. This is our second fight going on. Mac is getting angled out, but also doing really good damage on guard.
It's going to be Titans that are wanting to be the aggressors in this, and that is no surprise. Still finding a bit of tickle damage onto it, but Levutz has to step away so that way get some shield back going again. Bats coming in, but a very pinned down teammate. Don't big body, please, big bodies. And now might find an opportunity for the rest of his team. Mac now going to have to retreat and provide some support in what's going on. And does he have the angles to work with? This is a sneaky play coming in back behind it, trying to see if he can connect in. Are we going to be able to see him get some support for his teammates, as these shots are still just narrowly missing him?
I love this by Ferks, but I would love to see a follow-up. Actually, Mac ended up killing Don't Hurt Me Please, so making it a 2v2 situation. This is going to be good for them, and we had 12 cells on first. Unfortunately, those cells might have done well on Lovitz, as Lovitz actually ran out of shield, so that was so unfortunate to see early on. Are we going to go for a revive, or are we going to go for a 2v2 push? Looks like we're taking angles to go for that revive and get our squad up before our third party comes.
Be careful, Mac. You putting yourself in a dangerous position, at least drawing that aggro so that way your teammates can't get the res. Lovitz does get rezzed, but that means the fact that Mac has taken some damage. I wouldn't say it's enough to be scary. Hey, look, passing out some bats, so maybe be able to get reset back into it. Going to be a quick pump on the brakes, stepping away from the explosions that are going to be going off in front. Now with the resets coming out, looks like we're going airborne and we're going aggressive. Coming out, bringing the throwables, not going to hit enough to get stops, but at least going to force them away and go into different angles. Now piecemealed apart, there is an opportunity to pick it, and they are finding the angles to make that one work.
Don't guard up, need to guard up, because they just jumped on them 3 versus 2 and ended up getting another kill. This is really good for the Titans, as they're in contention there for like that top 3, top 4 spot. This is going to net them some kill points and could be one of the big moments when it comes to the leaderboards later on. What else do we got here? We've got Outsiders. Oh, hey, this is one of your favorite strats of the game.
Hey, look, I'm just a simple man. I like to see anything coming around that has a giant gas canister on the front of it. You know, make it a mobile defensive tank, and I think it's got some merits. I'd like to see more movement options. If anything, it can kind of break up the movement meta in some factors. So I just accept it. Give variety.
I really
Also,
like the
go
Trident
fast.
plays too. Mace thing's fun. It just really sucks when you get arced while you're on one and then you get stuck and then you die in the open. If that didn't happen, then I'd be playing with Tridents more often, but I am too much of a safe player to be using these. Hey, look, everyone's hopping in. You know, actually, I suggested the Trident a lot to my teammates, but they're also too scared to go through it. Sometimes I play super safe and sometimes I play super risky.
Well, I mean, it's just the nature of the beast and how you want to play at the time. I'm much more of a sucker for just living on the edge and trying to have some fun with it. Well, sweaty is fine and good. You live in a much sweatier style of play than I live in a much more like, hey, I wonder if I can do this kind of style of play. 10K Fist trying to figure out if they're going to be able to push up that hill, and they are not. Instantly having one of their members dropped. It's got to be careful. On the opposite end of it, you can see starting to take a ton of damage. Another member drops, and now it is just a matter of time before the third one does go. And yep, down and out, 10K Fist.
Oh my goodness, Penguin Lawyer. What are we doing here as a solo? Did we end up griefing a team just then?
I think trying to. Hey, get what you can. I mean, you got to get what you can in this type of situation. Look at how many teams still need to make it into this next ring. It's kind of insane how much edge fighting is potentially about to move.
Yeah, I notice a lot in these tournaments that there aren't many teams, if any, that end up rotating early. Lightning Rod was fought at about twice, but isn't occupied at all. Thunderwatch not occupied at all either. And then we have the Titans maybe doing armory or looking to do armory. I'm not 100% sure. And everyone else has to rotate. Fake Preds, they normally land Lightning Rod, so they might be regretting not landing there for the time being if they don't end up getting a high placement. But hey, look, they got so much KP because of the fact that they landed far away. Now our first game they landed Lightning Rod and they weren't able to get in a fight, and now this time they landed complete opposite, and look at how much KP they netted.
Yeah, and everything continues to push that Lightning Rod way, and it's almost like the Lightning Rod is just drawing the circles to it, such as lightning. Rotations now coming in. Fake Pred's gonna make the quick dash across and see how far that they can get, as they are presently outside of the ring. But I think that they see a new target. Is that what they saw just a second ago rotating around here? It feels like they're coming into this aggressively, very aware that somebody could be below them. Or do they not know? Are they about to land in the open? That could spell a big problem for them, but I think they snuck that one by.
I think they scanned them last second, but are not sure where they are, and they have this whole rock to play as cover. Now, I don't know if a team's walking up behind them through the zone. Although they don't have Valk ult anymore as they just use it, they are going to be able to walk up. For now, could be dangerous. What do they have for a backup plan? Not much. They have to walk.
Yeah, they can make a wide northern rotation, and they should be pretty safe. That could put them up against G59, that I think is the team that was holding up that area. So it's a slower rotations now coming into play. That's kind of, whenever we look to the south of Storm Point, it's a lot more open. It's a lot more DMR sniper friendly. But that being said, cover is a problem. Now that we're in the north, you can see that we start getting those cliff basings again. We start seeing a lot more buildings. We start seeing a lot more compounds just in general, but it does mean the fact that the rotations are much more complicated because you have got to be slower. You have got to contest up against these walls that create the choke points. That is a big part of how you have to navigate Apex maps. So it's going to be a much slower time navigating up into these northern areas than what we were seeing in the earlier games down in south.
Again, with those DMR snipers, even if you can net some damage, it would be hard to close the gap given the big mountain that you have to climb, right? And the amount of teams that are also nearby. So just making it up here is hard work in itself. We've got Red Zone Q trying to make it up on their lone zone with Octane just walking up. They're okay for now, but once the zone starts to close in, it's going to be rough hiding, especially in Lightning Rod when there's a lot of seers in gameplay.
Just
Oh,
a lightning rod in general. And I don't know if this was intended, but man, they got some friends real close, stopping out, looking down the hillside. And that is one of the benefits of trying to escape from here, is you can run down this hillside real quick, but that means the fact that you're having to leave the safe point. And I like this. Leapfrog ahead of the squad that was trying to potentially gatekeep you and now force them back down the hillside, which is exactly what they were going to do to you.
Oh my gosh, that was really good timing there, because if that team got to walk up a little bit more before they fell and landed, it could have been rough or it could have been risky, but good flight on them, and they were able to make it high enough for them to be able to poke this squad off, and that's Flaming Heroes. Are they going to be able to make it? The zone's pulling in. They do have some meds. Popping medkit a little bit early, in my opinion. Do you want to pop that medkit? Maybe once it hits that like first bar of armor for zone 2.
Yeah, I mean, that said, you can see they don't even really have the armor to work around. Spiritual Sevo in some serious trouble making this approach in, and the whole team is just narrowly ahead. You can see Octane coming in use right now to stay ahead of that ring, but that means it's going to be a blind run up this hillside, and he may be one of the few. He might be his only teammate. I can't even listen. I think that Gary should be able to get in, though.
Yeah, they do still have a couple syringes as I saw them pop them, so that's going to be good. Don't guard up, please. Goes down to Daniel Spams in the kill feed. Fake Preds getting themselves even more kills than they've already gotten. WLB making sure that their back's cleared. Toxic covering as his teammates heal up to full, but now it's our turn to heal up to full, right? Goes Toxic, right? You can hear me, right?
Too much scouting to be done, much distraction to be had, and Crazy Cucumber and crew already got themselves a strong position, and to the south, it is getting messy fast. Dr. Magic is already making us push in. You can see that there is going to be a lot of fighting that's going to be going on over here, and you're going to have to fight your way through with the ring contending in. I think that President's going to try to go away from it. Yep, another team's going to try to jump away, and we do get some distance. But that said, two teams still forced out and into the ring at this stage is not friendly.
I think I love it. Flying into zone and themselves a good spot. They flew in fairly early, so there's only 2 teams there. But are they flying right on top of the other squad? That's going to be dangerous.
That was a full-on commit, and they jumped right on top of them. I think that they managed to make it into the compound that was right next to them, just going off of the map and what I can see there. But I'm kind of surprised that that was as, I guess, friendly a landing as it was.
Yeah, they could have gotten killed, but I think they most likely landed on roof, if that's the case. But take a look at Lovitz. They're actually fighting right now. So Packers got knocked, but Cucumber took down Lovitz. So they did do a 1-for-1 trade. Matt going in. Ferks doing as much damage as he can with the PK99 pump. That was genius. Are we going to pop a battery? Yes, we are. It's good to pop a battery instead of a Phoenix because it takes way too long in a fight like this. We get the battery off. Oh, we're even queuing our teammate up for the revive. This is really smart.
This is very, very well played. Slow, steady, don't fall into the trap of feeling like you always have to be the one that's making hyper-aggressive plays. Instead, get the information, get the plays, and can they line these shots up? It's starting to hurt, and Packers is going to feel that one.
Oh my goodness, those were nice headshots midair, and Ferks really took the time to line this up, but they're actually getting third-partied by CPT, and CPT might throw this ultimate and see how low their team is on Titans, but this is a little bit of a low ground, high ground fight here.
Now more smoke coming out. Stall. Finding angles, and using the vision provided there. Now, starting to figure out how they're going to make the push up into this. Dr. Magic feels like he's going to be the outlier player in all of this firefight. So now, right down below, I feel like almost just listening to footsteps to feed that information back over, and it's slow right now. As again, don't fall into the tempo trap. As you've got control over here, there's nobody else really around. Let this fight take as long as it needs to.
Yeah, and they do have the massive, so they have that gun advantage, but they have the high ground disadvantage, right? So Oh, Bangalore Alti's gonna do mad work on Titans Deaths. They've got almost no place to go, but the air! They've got the air to go. That was a nice cue from the Horizon.
That is so good. That's like 200 IQ in a nutshell. Reads it and is like, nah, I've got the counter that waiting and ready to go. Titans still making plays around this. Got to be careful because more and more teams are starting to make it into the point. Fake Preds, they want to start making their aggressive pushes into this area, and they have been killing along the way.
Wow, no matter what third that they've got each time around in the qualifiers, they have been popping off. They just work so well together. And they do have to move into the zone. Now take a look at how small this zone is. There's not much place to share here, so we are going to see a few squads maybe end up falling apart. We need to see a safe landing from Fake Preds here. They've got about 6 kills or more, but the safe landing is essential.
I like this. They managed to make sure to make their jump in a lower section of the cliff face, and they, I think they have the information to come into this, and so going to be pretty much due up in center and not have to deal with the mess that's going on over there unless they just want a third party, which, of course, it's Fake Preds. They always want a third party.
As to those other teams, better not overcommit or their game might just end before they make the top 5 mark for placement. Seems like everyone's calmed down, and as I say that, some shots go off in the distance.
I mean, 7 squads at this stage, and while this is a small circle, there is a lot of terrain that can be played to support 7 squads here. It's not comfortable, but everybody can make it in, and that does mean the fact that you're going to hear a lot of pitter-patter of movement around you. You're just going to have to deal with it and figure out how you're going to move and navigate so many different fights. Fake Preds, they know exactly how they're going to navigate it. It's W key, be smart, make their approach in, and they're going to come up right back behind this and see if they can get something. Oh, that is a good spin back from Titans. Otherwise, that would have been disaster.
Oh my goodness, Lovitz took a lot of damage, wants to pop that Phoenix kit, but hey, ends up saying, I need to shoot in mid-air right now and defend these monsters from my team. Very nice shots, didn't pop that battery just yet, but we should pop it soon, as can't live this long with such low HP.
Ring is coming in and going to make it to where you're going to have to move just a bit closer. So Titans holding down this high ground point also have to be careful because there are multiple teams that have managed to get into low ground positions around them. This building finally starting to leave this safety of the ring in and of itself. Now we're going to have to see how these teams are going to start trying to handle this. Titans going to be one of the big ones to start making the move around, as they have been quite proactive since they've been getting so much company.
And they cleared out their building, right? So they cleared everyone out. They've got some loot boxes to loot there. It's Magic. Oh, it's Magic. Dr. Magic, it's Logan. Playing at the distance. What's Daniel doing here? Daniel's looting a death box. Not sure if they killed this one or not.
Oh, that was almost a problem. He might have been spotted if he'd stayed there too much longer, depending on how Titans is moving. I can't quite tell if they're... Yeah, he spotted them, so good read back into that one. I also do want to point out, our boy Penguin Lawyer is still alive. He is one of our 5 squads. I believe he is right on the edge of the present ring and going to have to come in, so might not be that way for too much longer, but our outlier teams are going to have to make a move here soon, as this firefight up at the top is going to be their opportunity if they're going to want to try to move.
We do have that cute Loba in the corner, but at the moment, Fake Preds is in the pickle here. Wako taking so much damage. Nice battery pop. Daniel Spams is also going to pop the battery, but now they're on the low ground. Is that team going to take angles on us while we're on the low ground, or can we get our height back? We are in zone as long as we can stay alive and stay healthy. The other team wasted their Horizon ultimate. They don't have Black Hole anymore. It's going to be great for Fake Preds, as they don't have to worry about that for another minute or so.
Fake Preds out here pulling some Neo, dodging some bullets around, and CPT, Dr. Magic, wishing he could do the same as he is, just taking a ton of damage. Near on no life, trying to get his shields back up. And you can see movement bouncing around the outside of this with all of his teammates starting to get low on shields, but this is going to be the time that they're trying to make their play. Quick pull back out around this Logan, on them, trying to get away from everything that's going on. He's going to go down. Now it is just Curiosity hiding back behind this doorway. It all popped off, all at the exact same moment. The ring coming in, and now it is just time to go. Has a teammate jump right down in front of him, has to try to hold it. Aim coming out, getting chaotic, but does go down.
Oh my god, I love that from Curiosity, playing inside the zones to get the aggression off of him and then going in and almost winning that 1v1. But unfortunately, Fake Prez, that third party was just too clean. Now we're only up to 2 squads left, 6 people remaining. So we've got 2 full teams. We've got Titans on the top of them.
Okay, they've got a pillar in between them. That's slowing down everything for the time being. And again, a very, very complicated area. Let's be real. This is so hard to navigate, all considered. But small benefit is there's loot scattered all around. There's crates in every single corner of this one. Titans trying to make sure that they exploit this high ground that they have right now. But there is so much cover in this low ground. You can see it's just a continual move around, but constant read. Titans know exactly the movements that are going to be happening by the opposing squad.
Yeah, Fake Prez is going to make their way up, though. They have the gravity lift to enter with some entry damage, but are they going to be able to have a follow-up? They're still on the low ground comparatively to the Titans, but they have to stay alive. They're going to try and get this one angled out. Wako going for the 301 angles, hits for 50 damage, is going to pop a shield battery right away, and it's still a 3v3 situation. Route doing as much damage as he can, but he's there on his lonesome and could get jumped in on. Mac trying to go for that follow-up, but ending up jumping on the low ground.
Got to be careful. You can see Titans getting all of themselves back in prime fighting position, as well as getting information. Spray is going to come out and does a ton of work. Peeks back around the other side. Lovelets is doing so much for this firefight right now, feeding in positions as well as pumping out damage for his teammates. Pushes are coming around. Max getting pretty low. He is going to go down, but there are still 2 strong members up for Titans. Issue comes into play. What is the push coming out on the other side of this one? Strong armor holding through. It's all going to be about the aim, and it is back and forth, jumping over it. Titans pick up this last round.
Oh my god, Lovett's gotta be the MVP right there. The amount of damage output and staying alive in that. And also didn't have the flatline completely reloaded quickly. Changes into the R99 to do the work, the 110 spray, and then finishes it off by finishing that reload on the flatline. That was incredible. That was insane.
That is 2 strong teams fighting each other. I mean, you saw that the tempo was never static. It was a lot of give and take, trying to feel out each other's defenses, figure out how they wanted to make their assault. And the ring wasn't even the biggest factor in that. It was just looking for opportunities and trying to exploit them.
Yeah, they were able to get some flanks. I really admire Fake Preds, though, because they were in a really bad spot. They used the gravity lift, tried to get that entry frag, weren't able to, but they were still on the low ground, even with that gravity lift, right? So it was incredibly hard to pull off, and it was close, but unfortunately, Titans ended up taking that win, and they've been killing it in Lightning Rod the whole game, through in and throughout.
We start in Lightning Rod, we end on Lightning Rod. That's the way the firefight was going through all of this round of Apex Legends. That said, I think that Titans, remember, they were just narrowly behind Rollers. Rollers, I think, went out far earlier. So finally getting some separation away from that. Titans being a very good team, had to be slightly frustrated to have a duo that was ahead of them at the time. Now it's starting to get to that, what did you learn today? What have you picked up? What's the last thing that you have that you can bring out? Because it's full on everything you've got in this last round, because I feel like this leaderboard is going to be closer than we were expecting it to be.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now I'm not quite sure what's in contention. Is it for first place? Is it for second? Is it for third? How many people have caught up in points relatively to our first and second place team? Those double headshots in midair were so good.
I feel like that's what happens every single time I try to take any form of jump. That's the person that is shooting me, because that was just so dominant. But Lovitz, this was just so well played on this angle. Puts in work on both sides of it, constantly feeding over information on the push, holds up in his 1v1, bounces around, finishes out the game. I mean, that was a stellar performance for the end of that.
Yeah, and let's take a look and see what they've output that last game. Oh my, that's
the highest.
5,000 damage?
That is
yeah,
nuts. That is, okay, I'm trying to do the caster math real quick. See, this is why God gave us calculators because I am no-
5,400-ish, in my opinion, of my great maths. 2 revives given on each player for Valkyrie and Bloodhound, so that just shows how much fighting that they've done and how close it was for them. If they got in third-partied in the moments where they had to go for those revives, it could have been over for them. But because no one went to end zone early on, they were able to get those clean kills. 6, 3, and 4 kills. Amazing, incredible work. And to maintain that 14, 14, 12, above 10% shot accuracy is insane coming from them. Let's take a look at our updated standings and see where everyone is at.
I mean, Titans deserve this come up. They were involved in so many fights. They've been showing up very, very regularly. Finally finding themselves the fights that they wanted at the end. And they were extremely solid, very well navigated, good in tempo, good in understanding, and understanding where they needed to defend up time and time again. Because Titans were fighting. You don't get 5,500 damage from just sitting around in a circle. They were scrapping the entirety of that round. So maybe we might see them be able to contest up against Fake Predators CPT, who've been having themselves a great run as well today.
Yeah, they definitely do have the potential to catch up. And let's take a look. Okay, so Titans did make it to 3rd place, creating that gap with the Outsiders at 4th place. So 60 versus 45, but they still are a bit behind from CPT. They just have so many points above them. And then Fake Preds at 93, they done exceptionally well that last game as well. Maintaining their 1st place, showing how they are a dominant factor to be reckoned with.
Well, we now have our eyes set on Fake Preds and CPT. The job now is to survive. You want to try to hold out as long as possible. Meanwhile, teams on our 11th through 18th still finding some successes as they make their ways through this one. And a big part of this is it's very, very difficult to survive whenever you've got teams like Titans, Fake Preds. They're just starting to roam now. They don't care about rings. They don't care about circles. They're just like, oh, somebody's shooting. I want to be there. And it's just putting so much influence on these other teams to just struggling to find points.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, if they're killing half of the lobby, then how are these teams going to even try and catch up or even make top 10, which they'd really like to make our seasonal finals. So it is hard when you do have those 2 or 3 dominant teams in one lobby, but it is going to be hard to learn from, your mistakes in those fights against teams that are, 1 or 2 levels up above you, but it is possible. You just got to put the time, effort, and take a look at kind of your weaknesses.
I've been saying it time and time again, make sure you show love to everybody that is playing here. And remember, you can sign up as this round is competing. If you feel like you've got what it takes to compete on the PlayStation, remember you can go to compete.playstation.com. And also, just a big shout out to PlayStation for making sure that they provide an environment for everybody to have a chance to get together and just fight it out and showcase who can be the Apex Legend for this event. North America is going to be wrapping up. One more round left, girl, and I still feel like there's some big opportunities for these teams.
Oh, there definitely is. And if you weren't able to make it into that top 4, top 10 today, there's always one more qualifier, as you said. So make sure you hit up that compete.playstation.com. But we still got 1 game remaining. Normally this last game is either very slow or very fast because teams that don't feel like they're going to make it into that top 10 might give up. But a couple of them, if they play slow enough, they might actually end up getting a win and boosting themselves up a lot of placements in the leaderboard. So that's something to look out for. And then another thing to look out for is definitely the Fake Preds versus CPT. Who's going to end up winning our $600 prize?
I mean, PlayStation 5 on the table. It's so much at stake for so many of these teams. Plus, it's also just nice. Right after the 4th of July, and right after Canada Day, managed to pick up some money, feeling pretty good about yourself, no matter where you're playing at in North America. Walking out of a holiday and then walking away with $600 playing your favorite game is not the worst place to be.
Oh no, definitely extending that little holiday just for you to celebrate here on a Tuesday. Imagine celebrating on the Tuesday. I'm having a great day today, casting such good Apex Legends. A lot of fun action, a lot of things we didn't expect, a lot of duo. double trouble action coming along, but it really is Fake Preds that have been highlighting it, and CPT trying to catch up.
I still got some faith in CPT. I think that they can string it together. That said, Fake Preds, man, it's near impossible right now to see where their weaknesses that you need to exploit. They're not dropping the same location. They're not taking fights the same way. They are making sure to rotate playstyles and behaviors depending on it. They're a consistent X factor that you don't know where they're going to be, and that creates a whole new level of stress in this. That said, CPT is doing the exact same thing. They're just usually in a different part of the map, and it feels like the rest of the lobby is just trying to strive to get the points as they can. If you're a team like Titans, you're just trying to find the success there.
Yeah, that's very true. And another thing about Fake Preds is they like to take their time, especially in the beginning, to make sure that they're okay, there's nobody around them, that they get their loot. So I feel like it's especially going to be hard to take them down if they're playing with such precautions. Knowing that they have a lead, they're just going to be like, hey, if we make top 3, we're probably going to win this unless we see CPT pop off with kills. But hey, Titans, let's give it to them for gaining that win. They definitely deserved it. They fought through in and throughout. In their last game, they did a great job.
All right. No caster bias right now. Just, come on, Rollers. I want to see it. I want to see a duo show up and still maintain themselves towards the top of this leaderboard. Circle is going to pop, and it's, I guess, center-ish. Not so likely to end up around Fish Farm or where we've been going down next to Barometer, but still a chance.
Yeah, and the drop is going to be crucial. The drop is just as important as the gameplay, because if you do have a bad drop, you might lose out on the gameplay, and being unable to play might net you 0 points. So let's take a look. We've got Fake Preds Fish Farms. We got no one in Lightning Rod thus far. 1 team in the wall, not 2. Steel going backwards, Ghosted Toxic also going backwards. Not a lot of people dropped, and everybody wants that north pad down B side, but everyone's actually flying back. You know, you did have a chance to fly this way earlier. Oh,
I mean,
checkpoint.
it's like you had an opportunity. Oh, if that had hit, that would have been an amazing shot. Titans already in the fight early, but so many teams passed by, dropping inside the ring, and they were like, no, we're going to go to the outside, and then realized that was everybody's strategy. Titans, though, still unrelenting. You know they want this point, and you know that he is going to come down out of this, taking the shots, and woe be to anybody on the opposite end of this.
Oh, they lost him.
Oh. Sneaky plays on the opposite side. Good job. I think that was Mercenary that was trying to get away, right? No, who is that?
That's, sorry, it's really hard for me to read the small letters, but they have escaped in D. Oh no, they're in that corner.
I wouldn't say escaped yet.
Yeah,
Oh,
but they
that's gotta
actually,
be...
they have to hit the Bloodhounds. Oh, never mind. TRK. That's TRK going down. Some Mercenary and TRK and Mimo goes down, and that's it for them.
And here's the thing. Nobody's really around where Titans is, so they got to run out and do this, and they can still go run back and like loot, because why not? CPT on their hunt. They know they have got to make up the difference in points right now, and that's leading to some interesting fights around this. Curiosity is going to be playing the outside, but it's going to be Penguin Warrior that's going to be holding up the front line for his squad, and that's going to be a lot of damage. He just took direct on. He's got to be back out away from this one, and that's going to be CPT now finding a more aggressive play and trying to see if they can find how this went through. But I don't know, that was kind of sneaky. I think he managed to dodge it for now. If anything, he's still going to be spotted out, and not enough damage to really scare it away yet.
That's a really nice scan. 100 damage. That's really nice, but they did trade the damage as well. Curiosity's not even getting hit, and with no armor, this should be a push from CPT. Logan's got to get a knock before he goes down. Curiosity is running low as well. Trying to pop that battery, unable to. Going to run out. Try and pop this battery again. Logan going down. We have to get the knock. Dr. Magic does it. Thank goodness. They're going to be okay. Are there any teams nearby? Taking a look at the map. No, not nearby. There's a team mill, but not close enough to third party. This is going to be great for CPT. They're doing exactly what they need to do to catch up to that first place by netting themselves to 3 kills. That's going to make them feel a little bit more at ease, but 1 or 2 more kill or fights won't be bad for them either.
I gotta say, no sadness there, Frosty. You were putting up a hell of a fight. I know that's your last fight of the day, but respect where respect is due. You made that a lot closer than it had to be, specifically taking shots against a firmly defended Curiosity. Not all of them hit there at the end, but you did manage to get a pretty decent chunk of damage and did get a knock on one of the 3 coming in. So, valiant attempt there, and Rats living the rat lifestyle as they are just kind of hunkered down, looking to see what's going on. I would say very minimal loot to be had, specifically when you're running around with 80 rounds, not feeling too happy.
They're dipping their toes in the water for a moment and realize, hey, it's a little too hot out here. Let's go back to Cenote Cave where there's a lot of shade in these rocks and another team. We get the scan on one. We don't get the scan on the full. Doesn't seem like we want to fight. We are a duo, and it's best smart not to fight until you third party, or you're in a favorable position like high ground.
Especially with the tools that they have, I like the idea in what they're doing. They're just trying to navigate with, you can see, one just trying to get some information, the other one just trying to get them out. But there are so many chase capabilities that are going to be coming at them. They have got to play this very, very carefully as a duo.
Yeah, especially since a lot of people are playing Octane as well. You never know when someone's just going to pad on you, and there's no escape from that, really. Unless you have one as well, or an Ash, but they don't, so... Oh, fake Preds. We never normally see fake Preds in Shipfall. Take a look at that.
Is this just trying to make sure to stay alive for these earlier sections? I don't know if this is a safety play, or if this is just a more loot play. I mean, they're pretty solid right now.
Yeah, they have really decent loot, but like you said, playing the edge, playing the safer position, you know, you don't see CPT in the kill feed killing that many teams, so you're not that worried. So staying alive is definitely going to be key for them. And getting that extra loot, being double as stacked as other teams, isn't a problem for them either.
We've been talking a lot about our 2 at the top, but let's not forget about outsiders. There is a world where they can get a ton of points and everybody else goes out early, that they can compete at the top. If not, they still just need to fight for every point they can, because a lot of these teams still have the capabilities to catching up. There is no resting on your points for a single squad out there, and outsiders still win in my heart, making their drives around on their Trident.
Oh, they actually might run into fake Preds. Oh, take a look at this. 3 trees. They're in a great position to get a squad wipe. Actually, full line of sight right here onto this team. There are 2 teams nearby. We're going to go with the Bangalore ulti to begin this.
And you start to hear the explosions, the firefights breaking around. 3 trees. They were up in the high ground as befitting a tree, but now just have vision. And that was a beautiful read on how the escape was going to go. Lots of damage comes up, but does not get the knock into it, trying to chase through. Finally manages to line it up, so manages to pick up just this one for the time being. Are we going to see follow-ups, or how are we going to see 3 trees Ogden playing the rest of this fight?
Yeah, they're trying to scan and look for the duo that ran away, but they're going to be in trouble because they're going to run into Titans, whom is a full squad that they might not expect. Oh, they do get scanned out here. Titan's going to look to aggress on this. We don't have any angles just quite yet, but we're going to jump down with the R301. Our teammate gets the knock on Relly Hippie CCID. And we got an angle on the staircase. Nice job. Nice job by Fergus there, taking that angle.
What do you do? What do you do there? I mean, every single angle and avenue that you were going to try to survive already had a Titan just waiting for it to happen. Now I'm going to spot out and give some farewell damage and say, okay, I'm at least going to make sure you are very confident in jumping away was the right decision.
Oh, man, if we could just land the headshot. Oh, we cracked another. I think we cracked 2 there in the air, but Fergus unable to hit on the flesh. It's okay. They get away, but they survive with some loot and more placement.
Sometimes it's not about necessarily getting the kill. It's about sending a statement and continuing to hit somebody while they're trying to valk away. It says a lot G59 in a lot of trouble. Don't big body me, please, on no life, but it's going to be guard up going down first. This is a fleeing G59 who's in a lot of trouble. Another member's going to go down. Don't hurt me, please. At least manages to get shields back up, but you can see very minimal vision to work around. So this would not surprise me if this was just going to be a retreat right along the edge of the zone. You've just got to go. There is nothing you can do. This is the last game. You want to at least try to scrap together some points, but now being shot in the back, and no points are going to be found as they get dropped by CPT.
Oh, they did manage to get one member of CPT at least, but unfortunately for them, that is their last game of the day as well. So they can take a break, refresh, enjoy the rest of their evening as they're currently out. CPT showing why they deserve first place, killing another squad. So that's 6 points. Definitely closing the gap. I believe they needed about 10 or so, a little bit more than 10. So that's definitely going to help them, but they do want Fake Preds eliminated. The longer Fake Pred stays alive and racks up placements, the more dangerous it is for CPT.
And that's the problem. Fake Preds is just all over the map, and so there's nothing you can do. You can't, like, go to where they normally drop because they're not going to be there. So you're just having to chase and hope the fact that you can hear the firefights as they go. Flaming Heroes pretty much on fire right now as they're trying to run away. Carry on about half health. Does look like managed to juice up and get away from that spot, but at the cost of 2 different team members, and that's going to be about it. And again, just got to continue going. There's just no breaks that can be had, and problem is you might be running into another team at any given moment. Problem is the team behind you, though.
Unfortunate for them. Titans coming back. Fake Fred's looting some boxes. They've got height of barometer. Where's this pulling exactly? We're gonna find out. Oh my goodness, that's 170 damage. We're actually gonna be able to get a knock if we just hit one more shot. No, that was so close by Wacko.
He wanted that so bad. Waiting, just being like, please, please move. I want it to happen. I want it to happen so bad, but I think that we got somebody that's going to be hanging out in Dragon Balls, making a wish for somebody else to make Fake Preds leave.
And they're not leaving anytime soon as they want a piece of the pie. They're a little bit hungry as they've been waiting on Barometer for so long. Nice shots. We're going to go for a 21, 24. Oh, it's so hard to hit someone moving around like that with a 3x charge rifle, that's for sure.
Oh, moved out to the right. Dude, spotted it, but that rock is providing
Stolen.
what cover is, and yeah, it's actually going to be Titans that pick that up. Fake Preds, are you aware that Titans are there? And I don't know, are Titans, do you know who you're next to?
Yeah, that would be hard to tell if they hadn't had line of sight on kind of... Some people can tell by the legends that the enemy is playing and also that the skins that they're playing as well, right?
Look at this. Fake Preds immediately reads that's like, oh, that's Titans over there? Oh, yeah, we don't want to be around this right now. And it's not from a fear to take a firefight like they think that they're going to lose, but why provide an opportunity for a team to get you out early? Even if you could just get placement points, that makes everybody else's life harder. They got to chase you. They got to play after you. Why go chase somebody that's already trying to take your kills?
And Titans also had the positional advantage in that situation as well, right? So they opted to Valk ult into the zone, and you got to respect that. They're great players after all, so they've done that. Titans, with the bow, we got 64 arrows to do damage to our opponent. Not quite hitting these arrows. Losing all of these arrows. It's okay, we've got plenty.
Putting in some work. This is a pretty decent range coming out. Do note the fact that we did see Fake Predators make a rotation around this area, so this is actually pretty bold from Titans. They're just standing on top of a hill, just shooting at things, and nobody's shooting back at them.
Not yet, but these teams are going to come closer, and as the zone closes in, that's going to be a very dangerous position to play. I want to see what's in that care package, but I won't be able to find out because CPT actually end up wanting to fight. They see a team on the Proctor, 112 damage. Can we get the knock? We got the knock. Curiosity stays alive, pops the shield battery. Oh no, we're popping a Phoenix kit.
Just got to press the button sometimes. It feels like what's going on there. Afraid of what could happen, but the amount of damage that was output should be able to get the health and shield back up. CPT in fighting strength. What's the next plays? It looks like they have their eyes set to move more south, and after they do some looting, of course.
Oh, they ended up getting a Kraber from that care package. So Logan's got the Kraber. Everyone's got to look out for that. Fake Pred's taking height of Shipfall. Interesting position. Definitely Kraberable in this spot. But they do have purple head armors or helmets if you wish. And that won't get one clipped by a Kraber up here.
Got to be careful, though. Profiling up here and also taking shots means the fact that all of these teams, and there are a lot over here, are going to be aware of where they're playing and could cut off some of their angles. I mean, you can see they're having to bounce between looking at multiple teams around them. That said, they are controlling a very decent area of the map around them, so that way nobody can encroach too easily. But there's a certain point where there just ends up being too many threats, and the attrition war could go very poorly against them.
Oh, take a look at this. CPT taking a look at Titan, pinching them in the corner. They have a little bit of a head glitch, but I personally don't think that spot is going to be safe enough if CPT still has time to end up poking them and pinching them onto that rock. So they might have to jump down into Shipfall. We'll see what kind of pressure CPT decides to play, but they're playing it safe, and they're scanning around, making sure no one's flanking them. This is the smart and safe play. I would have expected them to push Titans immediately.
It's pretty crazy how CPT always ends up on the opposite side of the map from where we see Fake Preds at. The way that the circle looks like it's lining up is going to be a continual movement to the south. Pretty still. Okay. A couple of firefights look like they're bound to happen. And oh, hey, that bush was a little deadlier than it was expected to be. Now just trying to make the run out. WLB gonna go ahead and use that hill to break sightline, but not in the happiest of ways.
This is a tough end zone. I'm just trying to process it. It's a little bit hard. I think CPT have a good spot to play from. Like if they play from this side, they get to play those rocks right on the side of that mountain. Might be good for them, but they have to clear all of the teams on the side without getting third-partied from behind. They have the scan. Gonna be able to use it. And smart.
This building has been such a hot spot today, as it's going to be CPT already reading how to move through this. Oh, they know. Are they going to get the throw in? And it looks like they should get some damage out of it. Shield broken on Caustic. Peeks around. Curiosity knows that it's coming, but did have the throwable out at the time. Now, looking around on the outside of this, seeing what's going on, does connect some damage. But right now, it's all about these throwables, and my God, that's going to do some damage. There you go. Curiosity is opening up the gate for his teammates.
That was such a great entry by Curiosity. Playing it cool, taking the time, didn't stay in that gas too long, which was crucial, but cracked, played it patiently, threw in more nades, and forced them into the bottom floor for their teammates to kind of catch them right into their little basket of eggs. And now they go back to zone. So this is what I was talking about. On the side of the mountain, they have the rocks pinged right there to their left. So they have to hold off all of these teams so that they can play in this position and potentially win the fight.
Ooh, I don't know if they know how close these threats are. Curiosity is going to be moving forward, and he has got to play this carefully. Fake Pred's already making a move over here, and so now playing the southern section of it. That was just dirty, man. Like, look at all of these crates over here. This is just like a shopping spree they can go on.
That is the work of Horizon. You get one team in a corner, Horizon ult, throw a bunch of nades. It's so good for them. Bangalore ult providing some comfort to them as they had to go for a revive. CPT was almost in a very dangerous position. Fake Preds going in behind the team that was actually pressuring CPT, taking down Crimson, one of our X-duos, and Thornton there as well. So Fake Pred, like you said, they're really taking opposite sides of the pole here. Fake Pred's on one side of the zone and CPT on the other side.
And woe be to whoever's caught in between right now. Fake Pred's still doing that rotate to the south, very aware, taking some shots, but they do have a vulnerability that CPT can approach this. And I think that CPT has realized the targets that are close. This is the game right here for CPT. If they want, they need to go after this, but it's just not finding an opportunity to get the damage that they want to get. And you don't want to run into a team like Fake Preds until you have put in some work into it, but that's also allowing Titans to get a foothold on the outside of this.
Oh, this is lovely. Our top 3 teams doing work, managing to make it into end zone, and now it is a 3-way standoff. I believe Fake Preds has the better side of it, as CPT might have to fight Titans, but you never know. In Apex Legends, you really never know who ends up fighting first, and CPT do have the high ground on this rock to look over. Titans is in a rough spot. The thing about this is Fake Preds managed to get a lot of kills, and so did CPT, and they're in the top 2. So it's almost like Fake Preds has negated the amount of points CPT got just by staying alive and kind of mirroring the amount of kills that they have. They don't have as much, but they definitely have a bit.
Making it to the top 3 secures so much more confidence for Fake Preds. You can see all 3 of these teams doing a good job of getting information, but no overcommit just yet. Realizing how they could be assaulted, because there is a lot of movement. And everybody knows, Apex, you can get wherever you want to go as long as you plan it out far enough in advance. And so Fake Preds playing this low ground do have a choke point that they're playing from. And it's a lot of terrain maintenance going on right now, as nobody has the cleanest vision or control over the circle, but I think that Titans might be on the move, and yep, assaulting the high ground, and it looks like they might be moving Pred's way.
Wow, they did get the zone. They have a huge rock to play on. Don't know if you can stand. Yep, you can stand up here. It's almost impossible to lose this, I feel like, from Fake Pred's standpoint, as the other 2 teams should have to fight first, but hey, if they get the clean wipe, you never know. You never know. I don't want to tell the story quite yet. I really want to see who ends up winning this. They do have Horizon ulti as well from this height. Oh my gosh, this is going to be close.
I mean, just feel free to run into Fake Preds that have a defilade rock in front of them to provide cover, as well as having everybody fully stacked up with bats and a Spitfire that's just waiting to unload. Curiosity does look like he's playing around this area, but it's going to be Titans now starting to make that low ground assault. CPT looks like they may be trying to go for a counterflank and might be trying to sandwich Titans in on this point. With the shots now coming out, that Spitfire is starting to come alive, force Titans into the new angle, and it's starting to get pretty compacted over here.
Oh no, we were hoping for Titans to take a look at Fake Preds, but no, Curiosity taking down one of them. Ferks is gonna go down. No, they take down 2. It's almost a clean wipe from them. Mac, last one remaining for his squad, is gonna play life, is gonna try and survive. Can we see Fake Preds push in on this? They're taking in a lot of damage. They knocked down Mac, the last one remaining, and now it's just a 3v3.
CPT still sitting quite strong on a lot of shield, but you can see health counterbalanced around this. This is a close range fight with peaks going off everywhere. It's about giving it everything you've got. Who can clutch it up in this moment? Peaks back and forth. Everybody on low life. CPT losing 1. Now it's just trying to take time to reset. Get your meds back up. Try to defend out what you can as it goes through. Curiosity on near on nothing. Still going for the peaks, but Dr. Magic knows what's going on down below him. Goes for the spray, trying to connect some more into it. It is just these 2 squads fighting it out, but it's CPT with the high ground, spraying into it, gets vision, gets a massive amount of damage, and CPT picks it up in the last round.
There is absolutely no way CPT just fought in a 3v3, stayed alive with literally 1 HP and had a full bat off, and ended up winning that because they took the rock. They were shooting from the rock and they ended up getting the knock on its route, and then they had one below them. They ended up knocking that one too. It was just incredible teamwork.
That is just astounding, covering each other, providing support, and we talked about this. CPT has been leaning into some firefights very brazenly, like, I've got 5 health, I think that I can at least assist a teammate, and in this case, yet again, delivers them a massive chunk of points and a victory.
Wow, that's just that just shows how good of a day we've had. We had it down to the wire, and then we see these 2 teams fight in the end, and CPT, the team in second place, not only do they kill Titans, but they kill our first place team as well. That I want to watch a replay of that so bad.
I cannot wait. There were so many moving factors in that, as it's I don't even know what happened in the back end firefight onto that when moving into where CPT was controlling that rock. There was so much going on. I gotta say, thank you again, PlayStation, for giving us that game right there. That makes everything worth. All the games have been great, but my God, so good. And CPT coming out the gate swinging. The question is, how many points did they get?
Yeah, really, truly. They had to have done it by basically the kill points. They did take out Fake Predators. That's the 3 kill points. They took out a couple of the Titans. That's another few kill points. Honestly, they may have done it. Then they played strong and confident from the very beginning, which was really important because this might come down to just a few points. Could come down to 5 points. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm so excited to see it. Fake Pred's doing a great job as well, getting themselves some kills throughout the map. CPT, look at this. 1 nade, 2 nades, bumps them down, and then his teammate ends up cleaning that in. The Craver shot, wonderful, beautiful. Fake Pred's doing exactly the same thing. They're killing people on the opposing side of the map.
It's crazy. I guess, game awareness that these two squads have for each other in areas where one team, because keep in mind, this is an area where Fake Preds should normally be north because of their drop spot, but instead playing around the south part of it. I know we've been talking a lot about what's going on for our #1 spot, but Titans also coming into this, make it into the end game is a statement in and of themselves for that squad. We cannot neglect the amount of work that they managed to put in as well today, as it's been so chaotic between these, I gotta say, just phenomenal teams. They put on a hell of a show right now, and all of them deserve respect. Go give these guys some follows. Go give them some love, because this was a crazy day of Apex action.
Yeah, and if you want to get to know them a little bit better, we did have an interview with Logan, so we got to meet Logan just the other day. It is in the VODs on Twitch. Wonderful play, just a chill guy, but in game, look, like the confidence and the amount of respect you should put on his name, just do it. Like, take a look at that. CPT, wonderful plays.
Oh my God, CPT. How much damage? Okay, I'm just gonna round it off. 1,600, 1,400, that's 3,000, plus 2,300, that's 5,300 damage. CPT was coming after Fake Preds. Is it going to be enough, though?
The accuracy, though, 27%, that is a high accuracy for the amount of fights that they've been in. Like, that is so many kills, too. Oh, my goodness. A few revives given, but no problem. They played that so well, and curiosity, is the 777 going to be enough luck to pull them through this day? I wonder. It's just so close. They did a great job.
Is 5,447 damage going to be enough? Because, man, it's a valiant time. Don't forget, 1 point separated out before. Oh my God! Remember when CPT Curiosity ran out of the ring in the earlier game that Fake Preds won? 1 point is what got CPT that. There was a ton of ways that it could have happened, but surrendering over to the ring that one game was the play.
You were talking about it earlier. You're like, oh, 1 point can make the difference. And it really did make the difference. CPT, they won it all. They won our game 6, but they won our whole entire qualifiers day. They win the $600. What a wonderful performance from them. And no shame to Fake Preds. They did exactly what they needed to. They got so many kills in that end zone, but unfortunately they lost that 3v3 and it cost them.
I mean, Fake Preds, respect. Like, straight up respect. But I gotta say, CPT, these last 2 games, I don't know what changed, but do it again and do it every single game that you conceivably can. Titans also with a massive come up. Outsiders finding their footing again, but let's not forget our boys, Rollers MX, still competing at the top of the leaderboard just as a duo. God, Today has been, I love today. Today is so good.
I was telling you, the PlayStation action, it's nothing, to taunt at, because the games have been so well throughout our whole series. Each and every qualifier is just so intense, and it's down to the wire. Unfortunately, these teams 11 through 18, they didn't make it, but they do have time to make it again. in our next qualifier. So our winners of today, the Outsiders, they've won a game. Fake Preds, they've won a couple. CPT also a couple, but when it really came down to it, CPT just got that one extra point, and Titans did a great job as well. Even in that last game, they were showing why they were meant to be there, and they ended up making that top 3. Unfortunately, we're in the worst position in that moment.
I gotta say, CPT, massive respect, but Fake Preds. Yes, I know it hurts to lose by 1 point. That's when you start running through whenever you had a kill stolen from you or whenever you were trying to go for the shot. Don't keep replaying that in your brains. You guys played phenomenally today. Now you have a competitor that you can step up against and make each other better every single step of the way. CPT wouldn't have been able to climb up to the heights that they managed to get today if it wasn't for the exceptional play that Fake Preds managed to bring out as well. And man, if you like this, remember, you can compete in on this as well. You can go to compete.playstation.com. You can be involved. You can be part of the story that's going on. But even if you don't want to play Apex Legends, we got Skullgirls that's going to be coming up. We got Madden 22. And yeah, we even got more Apex. So catch your fancy however you want. PlayStation be bringing some good tournaments right now.
Yeah, that's going to be the last and final chance to compete in our qualifiers to make our finals, in our season finals at the end of this month, right? So we've still got 2 more tournaments this month to watch and multiple more in other games on PlayStation. So definitely make sure to tune in to compete.playstation.com to sign up, go take a look at the rules, tell your friends, because this is the last qualifier coming up in this seasonal final. So tell your friends about it. Tell your EU friends about it. I know online you can have friends from all around the world. Make sure they sign up because there are big prizes to be had.
I just gotta say, we're gonna start wrapping up everything for the day. Girl, it has been so fun casting with you. Bring in the insights and knowledge that I definitely do not have. So I know everybody that was watching definitely enjoyed this. Also want to give a massive shout out to all the players. You guys put on a hell of a show, EU and North America both, but also PlayStation. Thank you. I've been a PlayStation fan forever, and this is my first time to actually cast on the PlayStation channel. So thank you so much, and thank you everybody for tuning in. All right, girl, what you got to take us out with?
Honestly, it was such an incredible day. I'm so happy to have been casted with you. It's our first time casted. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to be a part of this show. Also have been a PlayStation fanatic when I was younger growing up. Like, that's kind of what got me through video games growing up, and that's kind of why I became such a great FPS player. Anyway, I should convert to controller back again on Apex Legends. Maybe in tune. But thank you to everyone who watched at home today, and thank you to all our competitors. I hope to see you next time in our next qualifiers, and I hope you have a great day.
I'm still listening. That is just...
Silence them.
Welcome to the home of PlayStation Tournament's Apex Legends Esports. Get ready for all the Apex content you need to improve your game and win prizes in fast-paced, easy-to-join competitions. Look forward to exciting content to get you competition ready, including a monthly live show hosted by me, Rain Day, where we'll discuss the latest in Apex, chat with some huge guests, recap the PlayStation tournaments, and much, much more.
So far, so good.
Videos that feature breakdowns, tips, and exciting interviews. And in-depth articles featuring news, ways to improve your game, and conversations with competition winners and esports insiders. So, like, follow, and subscribe for Apex Legends content. And visit the PlayStation Tournament's website, compete.playstation.com, to sign up for competitions.
PlayStation.
Calling all fighters. The PlayStation Tournament's FGC Arcade is back with the Summer Community Series starting this June.
Let battle commence.
Get ready for 6 weeks of scorching competition and awesome prizes across your favorite fighting games. Sign up in-game, on your PS4 console, or on the competition center at compete.playstation.com for your chance to win cash prizes and a round-trip ticket and competitor pass to EVO 2022. Think you're up for the challenge?